This is KLZ Denver, The Source, AM and FM, AM 560 and 1220, and now on FM 95.3 and 100.7. Online, streaming at 560thesource.com, KLDC Denver, KLDC HD Denver, and KLZ HD Denver. This is the Crawford Broadcasting Company.
106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it. Our Lady of Blessed Acceleration, don't fail me now.
It's time for Drive Radio, presented by Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. Whether you need help diagnosing a problem,
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Or just want to learn about all things automotive.
Hey, how exactly does a Positrack rear on the Plymouth work?
It just does. Then you've come to the right place. So start your engines, buckle up, and get ready to ride. Drive Radio starts now on KLZ 560 The Source.
And this is Drive Radio. John Rush hosts KLZ 560, heard on 95.3 and 100.7 FM and the TuneIn app. And you can find us on the web at 560thesource.com. Jeff Giddy with me today from Larry's Automotive and Transmission, and Alan Stefan from... Where are you from, Alan? What do I say?
Windsor. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. I'm from Gates Rubber Company. Work for Napa Heating and Cooling.
You are basically the Napa rep for the Gates side of the fence. Am I saying that right?
Yes, I am, John.
So anything Gates oriented, you're the guy.
That's it.
So for a lot of folks that maybe are new to the industry or haven't been around as long as the rest of us, what does Gates do?
Let's see.
Because they used to have a plant here in town at one time.
Well, we manufacture rubber products, belts and hoses, industrial belts. We do water pumps, and I represent other lines affiliated with those, like thermostats and radiators, air conditioning,
right?
And then one non-related, hydraulics, and Gates does that very well as also.
Yeah, right. Gates does all the hydraulic stuff too, right? Even up to a lot of the big excavators, things like that. Gates does all that stuff.
And then they got an industrial side too, but I'm mainly the Napa automotive side.
Got it.
Some of it overlaps.
Great show for you in store today. We have got our BG rep, Chris Hammond, coming on at 10:15. So those of you out there that would like to ask some questions specifically with Chris, I would say get geared up. We'll have him on here at about 10:15. The phone number 303-477-5600 is the number. And we'll do this like we did before when Chris was on, where you'll be able to actually talk to Chris directly. So just give us a call. We'll get all that figured out with you. We'll put you on both channels and make that work. So that makes it easy. Some new sponsors to Drive Radio that I want to mention today. So right off the bat, we've got 88 Drive-In, which is a good friend of ours, and we appreciate Susan Kochevar and her team out at 88 Drive-In joining us on Drive Radio. If you've not been to a drive-in movie theater in a while, you need to go out there. It's a treat. We'll talk more about that as the show goes on. If you want to know what movies are on, we'll be talking about that a little bit later also, but go to 88drive.com. So 88drive.com. Also, Tom Witzel, who is a realtor up in the north part of town, Colorado native. He's a full-time agent since 1999, and he is in the people business, not the house business. In other words, he's in the business of helping out people find the right house, find the right, situation for them, not necessarily worried about selling a particular house. He's more worried about you than he is the house itself, and he is very skilled in making sure that you get that done. He closes a lot of houses on an annual basis, which tells me that he must be very good at what he does, or he wouldn't close as many houses as he does. So, Tom, welcome to Drive Radio. We appreciate that very much. We'll talk more about Tom as we go through the program today also. If you need to get a hold of Tom, you need a good realtor up in the north part of town, visit him at tomwitzel.com. It's TOMWITZEL.com. So TOMWITZEL.com. You can also call him on a cell phone at 303-808-2206. Last but not least, we have Chris West from Mecum, didn't say that right, Manheim. I get Manheim and Mecum.
You were thinking something else.
Well, it's because I had a meeting earlier this week on Mecum, and but Manheim Auto Auctions, who is in Littleton, they've got 2 locations actually here in town. They've got a special program now where it used to be you had to have some sort of a wholesale or a dealer's license to actually buy cars at a Manheim auction. Not the case anymore. So Chris is going to join us. Chris West will join us at around the 11:30 to 12 o'clock-ish mark, and he'll talk about what's going on at Manheim and how you guys can participate in that. And in a lot of cases, guys, where this will come in handy is those of you that are looking for that third car, an airport car, a first car for your kids, he's going to have some options for you. So we'll talk about that as we go through the show. Let's get this show on the road. Maureen is calling in real quick. Let's get her up and running. Maureen, welcome. What's going on today?
Good morning, John.
Good morning.
I want you to know that you're not sick because you reported that cuddling thing. But that's not what I called about.
That one's going to hurt you.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Understand.
Sorry. Anyway, I'm calling to say that there have been news reports that the government, and it's not constitutional for them to have anything to do with this, but they're going to increase the ethanol content of gasoline. And I've also heard that that's will be destructive to engines.
Some engines, yes.
Car engines.
There's real quick, Maureen, there's been discussion on that for quite some time, that they're going to go to an E15 or an E20. What I will tell you, though, is that really is not as true as a lot of the things that you're reading. There's nothing mandated at this point. It's all voluntary based upon individual fuel stations. It has not been mandated. And from everything that I have read and researched, I cannot see that it is mandated anything over that 10%. I'd love to see the 10% even go away.
Well, good. If they do that, though, is there anything we can do to protect our engines?
Not on older engines, no. That's where the rub is. And that's why I don't think they're ever going to get this passed, because even if there's folks out there that want to see that done, somebody lobbying hard for that, you've got enough other people on the other side of the fence, those of us in this room and SEMA, and there's lots of other organizations out there that are going to go to battle because there's too many vehicles still on the road today that higher percentage of ethanol would have an adverse effect on.
Going to get a lot of motorcycle riders upset too.
Yeah, Maureen, we're talking motorcycles, small engines, lawnmowers. I mean, there are so many other items out there, even outside of the older vehicles that are on the road, that it would have a negative effect on. I don't see them getting it passed. There's been lots and lots of internet news on this, and I will tell you that some of the news that you're even watching is probably 5 to 6 years old, and it just hasn't gone anywhere. It hasn't gotten any traction at this point.
That's absolutely great, and I'd like to tell you this. The last time I called you, I said I had a Honda Fit. Well, that didn't work for me, didn't fit me, and so I got a CRV, and absolutely,
CRV's a great car.
Dream car. I just love it.
Yeah, that's a great car. I drove one of those not that long ago. That is a fantastic all-around vehicle. A lot more roomy inside than what most people would give it credit, and it works very, very well. That's a great car, and not that the Fit's a bad car, but it's a car that I think the name fits it well. It has to fit you, otherwise it's not a good car.
I tried to put that on my wrist. It was too heavy.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't work too well, does it?
Yeah. Be careful on that CRV. There's one thing I can throw in. You may have heard that about the AC grenading. Just cycle that even through the wintertime. Make sure that
you run it in defrost.
Yep, run it in defrost. Make sure that compressor's lubricated. You'll be good.
Yep.
Thank you very, very much.
You're very welcome, Maureen. Thank you so much for listening and for all your support. We appreciate it very much. Maureen's a longtime listener and listens during the week, and we've got her on Drive Radio now. So
followed me on the call.
Great. No, she did. No, she's a peach. She does a really good job for us and helps promote what we do here on a regular basis. I know that very well. So I really appreciate her calling in. So real quick, let's talk about that again. So that particular CRV, you're saying cycle that AC even during the winter?
We see a lot of those that has a high failure rate on that vehicle of the AC just coming apart. And when it does, the problem is everything needs to be replaced on the CRV. We have that deslugger now available. Yeah. I think you've seen that. That can be put in line. That'll cycle that AC clutch. And
what? Say that again. Explain that. What is that?
Let me get this. I'll get this up for you. It's see, John's been out too long.
I'm just listening.
He's not working on the
I
cars.
want to make sure the public are understanding what you're.
Well,
I understand what you're saying. But make sure they do.
Basically, this cycles the clutch, does not let it engage, even though you push the snowflake and the computer says, yes, you can have AC. It's going to cycle it so it does not pump liquid refrigerant and trash the compressor. So this is something can be put in line.
So
we
an
have
aftermarket piece.
Yes, aftermarket piece that we have available at Napa.
Okay, so available through
especially
Napa.
for the CRV.
If somebody were to come in and ask for that, how would they actually describe that, Alan?
The deslugger. It's this Napa Temp deslugger.
Okay, so Napa Temp deslugger.
Yeah.
I'm writing this down just to make sure we can get that correct. Napa Temp deslugger.
Has nothing to do with baseball.
Any other vehicle besides that one that
We have
should
a
do that on?
universal one for and with GM application, a truck application where the compressors mounted very, very low, and on a cool morning, you may want to have AC, and that refrigerant pools up in there, and that'll keep it from destroying the compressor.
All right, sounds great. Let's do this. We've got Chris Hammond from BG joining us real quick. We've got one call that we'll take right off the bat. Chris in Denver, welcome. What's going on, sir?
Good morning, John. I got a question for you about 2006 Kia Sportage LX.
Okay.
All right, well, I was driving it the other night. It kind of overheated. It kind of has been acting funny, and now I got antifreeze coming out my tailpipe.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
Is that, I mean, the check engine light came on, and I ended up limping it home. Now, I don't know if I warped the head or cracked it. Is that engine fixable?
You won't know till you get into it and start looking at it. That's hard to say. If it just lost the gasket, for example, if just the head gasket is gone, no head warpage, it's not too bad of a fix at that point. If it's got a cracked head, well, now you're talking, more dollars. You really won't know until you tear into it. I hate to say it that way, but and tear into it doesn't sound right. Until you disassemble it, you won't know.
Yep.
I mean, literally, there is no other way of knowing on the front side what's going on with it until then.
Would I be better off taking it to a buy-here-pay-here place and trading it off, or?
Well, here's the deal. I mean, first question is, how noticeable is the leak? Can you see the steam coming out the tailpipe right now?
I believe so. My wife's got it.
Yeah.
It's my wife's car.
Okay. If you can visibly see steam coming out of a tailpipe, no offense, but the buy here, pay here guys aren't that dumb. They'll notice it, and you'll get nicked on that. And the bottom line is, it's going to cost you either way. Is my point.
Mm-hmm.
Even on a trade.
All right.
Okay. And you may want to listen around at the 11:30 mark when we have Chris from Mannheim Auctions on. That may be a better option than even a buy here, pay here, where you run that thing through an auction, see what your top dollar is on it. We'll talk to Chris at 11:30 and find out how you could do that.
Okay.
And you're welcome at 11:30 to call in when he's on with us and ask him some specific questions if you'd like.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's do this. Let's bring Chris up. We'll get him introduced, and we'll take a quick break, come back, and we'll start some calls for BG. So, Chris, man, what's going on? Welcome.
Hey, good morning, John. Sounds like I'm on the morning of Chris's today, huh?
You are on the morning of Chris's today. Yes, you are. I don't know. Yeah, it's just the way it goes. Everything runs in spurts, does it not?
Right. I love it.
That's the way it goes. Okay, so that last caller, just a quick question for you. So that last caller, Kia Sportage, overheated. It's now got some, steam coming out of the tailpipe. I am guessing. I already pretty much know what I think your answer is going to be, but there is no fix it in a can for that car, is there?
Hey, at one point, John, our lab guys tried to shrink a mechanic and put it in a can, but it didn't work very well. So far, no.
Good answer. Good answer.
Well, it's just getting them through the combustion cycle because Ant-Man can do it.
Exactly. If Ant-Man can do it, anybody can, right? Yeah, Chris, your point is, well received. There's no such thing as a technician in a can, and as many things, and again, you're in that industry, so you know it as well as anybody, is as many times as we'd like to pour things in and have them actually fix a problem. Your products, everything BG sells, it's all on the maintenance and on the, the preventative side of the fence, not the fix-it side of the fence. Am I correct in saying that?
That's exactly right. We try to take a proactive approach to maintaining the vehicle to prevent those costly repairs.
Yep. There you go. All right, let's do this. We'll take a real quick timeout. We've got Chris Hammond from BG. Any questions you've got on any BG-related product, please give us a call. Otherwise, Chris is going to have the floor, and we can just talk about anything that's new at BG. So, Chris, hang tight. We're going to be right back. Nobody go away because Drive Radio coming right back. John Rush, Alan Stefan, and Jeff Kitty right here on KLZ 560.
You don't need an air-conditioned steering wheel or high-performance supercharger to use Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil. Now just $5.99 a quart at Napa. Mobil 1 offers premium protection for all cars, premium or not so premium. So give your ride Mobil 1 synthetic just $5.99 a quart, even if it doesn't have the latest technological stuff. That's Napa know-how. General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 6/30/16.
Doctors and lawyers are peer-reviewed for excellence. Why not auto repair technicians? John Rush here, founder of the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers, a peer-reviewed group of independent ASE-certified master technicians dedicated to providing superior service and the best warranty in the industry. 3 years or 36,000 miles on every repair. Colorado Select Auto Care Centers are your alternative to dealerships. Choose any Colorado Select Auto Care Center and you'll finally have an honest technician you can trust. Find one near you at coloradoselect.com.
When you've been in a fender bender or accident, you need to get your car repaired quickly by top-notch experts that know your car. Don't mess around with the cumbersome national auto body chains where you have no idea as to who is working on your car. Denver Collision Experts is a locally owned auto collision repair facility that will give you that personal touch you deserve. They'll help you in dealing with your insurance company and get you back on the road quickly without skimping on quality. Denver Collision Experts are Denver's experts in auto body repair. Call Denver Collision Experts today at 303-761-0955, 303-761-0955, or check them out at denvercollision.com. Be sure to tell them Drive Radio sent you.
The phrase tune-up is a thing of the past on modern vehicles. It's now called maintenance services, and there's no one-size-fits-all for tune-ups. Most often, we have to inspect and use a scan tool to diagnose for tune-ups. Maintenance tune-up intervals are usually identified in the vehicle owner manuals. At Arvada West Auto and Truck, we can help to make sense of what your vehicle needs to keep it running the way it should. Call or stop in at Arvada West Auto and Truck, 11752 West 64th Avenue, just west of Sims, 303-422-1065.
Every car has a transmission, and every transmission needs servicing, but most drivers ignore their transmission. Don't fix what ain't broke, as they say. Larry's Automotive is the area's most respected transmission and driveline repair facility, and they'll tell you that most of the expensive repairs they do could easily have been avoided with regular scheduled maintenance. Maybe they were told by a mechanic that their transmission fluid was getting dark, or maybe there was a slight hesitation between gears. Whatever the case, they are now faced with expensive repairs. Larry's technicians are ATRA and ASE certified, and their warranty covers you even if you're out of town. And while there's nobody better for transmission repair than Larry's Automotive, the truth is, they would have preferred to do the preventive maintenance instead. Larry's Automotive and Transmission Repair, the Driveline Pros on Bradburn Boulevard in Westminster. Call 303-427-2108. 303-427-2108.
All right, and this is John Rush Drive Radio, KLZ 560, heard on 95.3 and 100.7 FM. Alan Stefan from Gates is with us, as well as Jeff Kitty from Larry's Automotive and Transmission. Chris Hammond, our BG rep, is also on the phone today with us. So, Chris, real quick, anything new going on at BG that we didn't talk about the last time we had you on?
I think since last time we were on, we actually came out with a GDI cleanup service, which we've just introduced locally here 6 or 8 weeks ago. It's a phenomenal cleanup service for the direct inject engines. Problems typical to direct inject, like we talked about previously, where cleaning the back of the intake valves or the valve stems and combustion chamber cleanup is particularly difficult. So we have an entirely new chemistry and tool out that allows us to do that very effectively.
So is that something that folks are going to have to go to a facility and have done, or can they buy that product over the counter? Explain that.
Now that requires a trained technician to be able to perform that service. It's a fairly technical service. Not a long service. Takes about an hour and a half to get done. But it definitely requires a trained technician.
Cool. But it is something now that we can offer as facilities that will keep those direct injection engines from carboning up. And we'll get into that in just a minute too. So hold that thought. I want to make sure everybody understands why a direct injection engine, carbons up more so than some of the other designs we've had in previous years. Let's take a real quick call real quick. So Chris, hang tight. We've got Roger calling in. Roger, welcome. What's going on, sir?
Hi, Ada. I've got a 1980 pickup truck, Chevrolet 6-cylinder.
Okay.
I think it's a smaller, it's like a 260 or something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, when I start it up, it won't start unless I dump gas in the carburetor, and then it runs till that gas runs out. It doesn't seem to be the fuel filter, and it doesn't seem to be the fuel pump. So I guess it would be the carburetor. And the guy I took it to said, he couldn't do it.
Okay.
So
is it actually getting fuel up to the carburetor, or do you know?
I don't know. I know if I dump gas in the carburetor, it starts up and runs till that runs out.
Okay.
But it's not the fuel filter, and it's not the fuel pump. So it's got to be the carburetor, right?
So it sounds like you got a blockage in the gas feed line, or possibly a pump that's not working right.
Well, they all seem to work. I mean, the fuel pump is working and the fuel filter is working. So I thought that would just leave the carburetor.
So can you look down the barrel of the carburetor when you
not running?
Disclaimer. And when you move the throttle, does it squirt gas down the throat?
I don't know. I know
that'd be the next thing to look
fuel
at.
Pump is working. The fuel filter is not plugged in. The fuel pump is working.
Okay.
Both those are correct. So
okay. Bizarre, but could be a stuck float.
Could be a stuck needle and seat, something along those lines. So, Chris from BG, you're listening to this. Do you guys have do you have any products, Chris, that Roger could use to just see if there's anything that would unstick a needle and seat or anything along those lines?
Well, there's the carbon choke cleaner, which obviously you're just going to introduce through the throttle body.
Right.
There's a lot going on there. So I'm trying to remember the last time I rebuilt the carburetor.
Yeah, and if it's got a stuck needle and seat, Roger, you could try, and you're not going to hurt anything in doing this at all. Not going to hurt a thing doing it. You could put some 44K into the fuel system itself. Do it proportionate to what the can says as far as how much fuel needs to be in the truck and so on. If there is a stuck needle and seat and there's just some gumminess to that, the 44K may clean that needle and seat up enough to allow that fuel to flow through. What's happening is if the needle and seat gets stuck, it closes off the valve. Think of it this way. It's basically a gate valve, closes off the fuel going into the carburetor. If there's no fuel there, of course, nothing's going to run. If it's just something as simple as that, you could put some 44K in it and try it. And here's the rub on that. If it doesn't fix it and you still do a carburetor rebuild, back in the old days, whenever we did carburetor rebuilds, we always stuck a can of 44K in the tank anyways. So you're not out anything by trying that.
All right. Well, that 44, who makes 44K?
BG makes 44K, and Chris, our rep, is on with us right now listening to you. You can buy 44K at the majority of the Napa retail stores here in town.
All right. Well, that'd be perfect. I'll give that a shot.
Give it a shot, see what happens. You're not going to hurt anything trying that.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
And again, we've got Chris Hammond, BG. The website to find out about BG products is bgprod.com. And Chris, as I mentioned a moment ago, you can find 44K in a lot of different places. I realize that technically you should go to a facility, buy your 44K there, make sure you're doing everything properly. But we all know that 44K is one of those tools that you want to use a couple of times a year, and you can just buy that over the counter. Am I saying that correctly?
You're saying it exactly correctly. And the interval on that really depends on the engine configuration. If you're running a regular port inject gasoline engine, once a year is probably pretty adequate, about every 15,000 miles.
Okay.
On your direct inject engine, you need to apply that more frequently, every 5,000 miles.
Now, if you use a 44K on that, does that help keep the carbonization down?
Absolutely. So the 44K is going to give you a fuel system cleanup. It's designed to clean fuel-related deposits all the way from the tank through the catalytic converter, but it also cleans the hard carbon deposits in the combustion chamber and on a port-injected engine on the intake valves as well.
Okay. All right. So real quick, and this comes up quite often here on the show. So I figure while you're here, let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. Any other products comparable to 44K? In other words, we get folks calling in saying, well, I can go buy Chevron Techron and it's basically the same product and it's half the cost. Explain the difference between some of those products versus 44K.
So there's no secret to it. The cleaning agent in 44K is a chemistry called polyetheramine. It's very effective at adhering to, soaking into, and gently reducing the carbon deposits through the fuel system. Some fuel system cleaners have started using a similar polyetheramine that is very effective. Most fuel system cleaners use a alcohol as a cleaner, and the problem with alcohol is you get no combustion chamber or downstream the catalytic converter cleanup. Right?
So real quick, explain for some. We've got a lot of folks listening, Chris, that are not trying to be rude here by any means, but they're just not as technically savvy as those of us that have been in the industry for 40 plus years have been. So explain real quick why that's the case. I mean, I know why that is, but explain to our listeners why that's the case.
So alcohol is very light. It combusts very easily, and it combusts very clean. So it makes an effective cleaner all the way up to the combustion chamber.
And that's partially why this ethanol thing we talked about a little bit earlier, where there's been some talk over the years where they want to go to E15, E20, and so on, and that hasn't gone anywhere. But right now we have E10. Partly where that E10 comes from is because it's an EPA mandate, but they're doing that to try to quote unquote clean up the air because that 10% does help the combustion process. Correct?
It does. It burns very clean and has very clean combustion. Similarly, when you add alcohol to a cleaner, that burns very cleanly, but it doesn't clean. So the polyetheramine is actually never consumed in the combustion process.
Okay.
It adheres to the carbon deposits in the combustion chamber and then is evacuated through the exhaust where you even get cleanup downstream in the catalytic converter.
Okay. And that's why, again, I'm just making sure everybody understands this. That's why any of these additives you can buy at the pump, for example, where it's mixing in with the gasoline, none of those, Chris, and make sure that I'm saying this correctly, but none of those additives, I don't care who's building it, unless it's a 44K product, which you're not going to buy at the pump as an injection type device anyways. In other words, you're not going to inject that right into the gasoline at the pump. Any of those products you're buying at the pump are just going to mix in with the fuel and be burned off the minute it lights up, correct?
That is correct. Those are all nitrogen-based cleaners, and they are effective in cleaning the fuel system, but not the combustion chamber and beyond.
Okay, so they're not going to do anything. Combustion chamber, downstream, catalytic converter, that's where a product like 44K comes into play and does that where those other products will not do it. Because you see those pushed all the time. I mean, I'll just be frank. You can pull into a lot of grocery stores in this town, get your 10 cent off deal going or 20 cent deal going. The problem is you're buying lesser quality fuel than while you're there. They try to upsell you on these additives. And the reality is those additives, they may clean the fuel system itself, but they're not going to do anything for your engine.
That's exactly correct. And those are all keep clean dosages on those additives. So anything you buy at the pump, and there's some good retail gasolines out there, and there's some pretty lousy ones,
right?
Frankly. But anything you buy at the pump isn't going to give you a cleanup, okay? But those are designed to be treated as a keep clean fuel.
Okay.
And the U.S. government has published a website, toptiergas.com, .org, I think.
.org. We talk about it all the time. Toptiergas.org. Okay. Toptierfuel.org, I believe is what it is.
Thank you. Well, toptierfuel.org, and you can find retailers that have top-tier certified gasoline. But those gasolines, if you use that gasoline 100% of the time from day one all the way through, you're probably going to have a pretty clean fuel system and combustion chamber.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that just typically doesn't happen. And none of those top-tier fuels are designed for a cleanup. That they're all designed as a keep clean fuel blend.
Okay.
So the formulation of the 44K, basically what the intent of that is to soften the carbon deposits. So as the combustion happens, it takes those carbon deposits as part of the combustion.
Burns them out, right?
Burns them out of the engine, so it softens them up.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
So thinking about the fall with his little truck there a little bit ago,
right?
You guys probably remember back in the day, and I never did this because I was in elementary school, but you hear stories of how you did a decarb service.
Yep.
You get the engine good and hot.
Yep.
And you pour what down the carb?
You poured that solution. It used to be called GM Top Engine Cleaner, and you poured it down the throat of the carburetor until literally you starve the motor of fuel, and then you let it sit 24 hours. You'd fire it up, and all that crud would come out the back.
Yep.
Huge chunks, right?
Yep. Huge chunks.
Pieces of carbon.
Yep.
That you're just blowing out the exhaust. Can you imagine if you tried to remove those carbon deposits aggressively today? All the problems that would cause in the emission system on a vehicle.
Yeah, major.
Those emission systems are super sensitive.
Right.
That's why the 44K, the polyetheramine in the 44K is designed to slowly and safely remove those carbon deposits so that they can be consumed during the combustion chamber, and then even add the cleanup in the catalytic converter.
Okay, so question for you, which we've never had this asked, but we might as well just clear the air on this. All of your products, I'm assuming, are all safe to use. They're not going to void any kind of a new car warranty. They're not going to void any kind of emissions warranties, anything along those lines. Am I right in saying that?
You are absolutely correct. So our factory is ISO 9001 certified.
Okay.
So we know every time that one of our technicians uses one of our products, that what's in the can is going to do what it says it's going to do.
Okay.
So the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act that the U.S. government put in place, and the couple of versions of it now, 1988 was the most current revision, but the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act precludes any original equipment manufacturers from voiding a manufacturer's warranty simply because the vehicle owner or any equipment owner uses an aftermarket product. As long as those products meet the manufacturer's specifications, a manufacturer cannot legally void a warranty.
Got it. All right. Hold that thought. We're going to come right back. You can find out all about BG's products at bgprod.com. So bgprod.com. Chris Hammond is with us. We're going to be right back. This is John Rush, your host. Don't go anywhere because we're coming right back here on Drive Radio KLZ 560.
Today's gasoline direct injected engine doesn't have your father's Ford injected fuel system, and that's probably why you paid more to get one. The GDI's special design requires special maintenance to keep it carbon-free and free of costly repairs. BG Products has the most current and effective GDI maintenance available in over 20,000 shops, and is one more reason service managers recommend BG 3-to-1 over all others. Find a shop near you at bgfindashop.com. If you own a GDI engine and you want it to last, remember 2 more letters, BG. BG.
At Lone Tree Veterinary Medical Center, we believe that all pets deserve to have a good life. And because we know that your pet will have many different needs throughout its life, we offer complete pet care services. Whether your furry friend needs a checkup, vaccinations, boarding, grooming, obedience training, we are here for your pet 7 days a week. At Lone Tree Veterinary Medical Center, we know that you want the very best for your pet, which is why you can count on us for the latest in technology and methods in everything we do. We are certified with the highest rankings by the American Animal Hospital Association and hold a gold star rating with the Better Business Bureau. You and your pet can visit us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are located at 8681 East Lincoln Avenue in Lone Tree. Learn more about us by visiting our website at LoneTreeVet.com or give us a call at 303-708-8050. We believe that all pets deserve to have a good life.
Hey, Northern Colorado. The sisters from Community Auto here. Just letting you know we got your back. We have a happy family here at Community Auto and would love for you to be a part. We've come a long way since opening shop more than 20 years ago. Thanks, Dad. His Small Business of the Year 2015, featured in Parts and People and among the top shops in Colorado, we'd like to thank you for trusting us with your vehicle. With our new customer loyalty program, you can earn rewards dollars and free services like oil changes and transmission flushes. Like us a lot? Refer a friend, and we'll give you $50. It's that easy. Auto repair doesn't have to be painful. Actually, with us, it's pretty fun. We know that a happy car will get you far, so we'll fix and maintain yours with a smile. We're fun, fresh, and good at what we do. Call us today or visit us at communityautoinc.com. We'd love to meet you.
Know-how! Goop, gunk, sludge, whatever you want to call it. It's the stuff that makes your engine just plain dirty. Luckily, the active cleaning power of Pennzoil Conventional Motor Oil, just $3.39 a quart at Napa, helps keep your engine clean. So pick up Pennzoil Conventional for $3.39 a quart at Napa and say goodbye to gunk. That's Napa Know-How. General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 6/30/16.
Life is full of enjoyable moments, such as getting a root canal, paying taxes, your kids playing their recorder, dinner with the in-laws, and buying a car. I'm just messing with you. Those things are absolutely horrible. But with the help of Mike Lather and JFR and Associates, they might actually make purchasing a new vehicle, well, enjoyable. Tell them what you're looking for, and they'll set out and find what fits your parameters, handle the negotiating, gather history reports, and even arrange financing. Before you know it, you're behind the wheel of your new car. Take hunting for a new vehicle off of your to-do list and give it to Mike Lather with JFR and Associates. Give him a ring at 720-266-4941, 720-266-4941. Tell Mike that you heard about him on Drive Radio and get back to enjoying your kids' wonderful impromptu recorder concert.
In a flash, from out of nowhere, your whole life can change forever. It happened so quickly, nobody saw it coming. Soon the medical bills will be arriving. Will insurance cover your injuries? Does the other driver have assets? Should I sue? It was his fault after all. After an accident, you need to call the law offices of Flesh Law. Flesh Law will never settle until you are fully compensated for your injuries.
Call 303-806-8886 for the Flesh Law Firm. 303-806-8886. Online, go to fleshlawfirm.com.
Flesh Law, the trial-tested, trial-ready attorneys.
This is ASC Automotive Professional Pam Oakes, and it's time to take a 60-second break and make you a savvy car consumer. Did you just purchase a General Motors SUV? If you did, you may be getting a refund from the automotive manufacturer. Drivers who purchased a 2016 Traverse, Enclave, or Acadia have the option of increasing their manufacturer warranty or receiving a gift card due to GM's incorrect MPG listing on the window sticker.
15 seconds.
The option in place of passing out cash for the more than expected extra fuel costs in the future. Lesson learned. Want to learn more about your vehicle? Visit me at CarCareForTheClueless.com, making you a savvy car consumer.
And this is Drive Radio, KLZ 560, heard on 95.3 and 100.7 FM. Alan Stefan from Gates Rubber Company is with us.
I'm out of breath. I just ran down to the store to get me some 44K to decarbon.
And you're back already.
I'm back already. Thanks,
Right.
Chris. I
Jeff
appreciate
Kinney's
it.
also with us. So Chris Hammond from BG is also with us. Chris, let's move along and talk about some of your driveline products. That's one thing the last time you were on, we just briefly touched on, and I know you've got some great products there. We don't talk about them enough, so let's get into some of what you've got there.
Absolutely. And, you know, one of the things that we all love about Colorado are our four-wheel drive vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
I know, John, you have a passion for off-roading and four-wheel drive vehicles, as most Coloradans do. What we always neglect and we always forget is the beating that our four-wheel drive systems take as we drive them through the mountains, whether we're off-roading or we're towing or we're at the lake, or gosh, we're in Denver traffic in our four-wheel drive vehicle, right?
Yep.
So the gear oils in our four-wheel drive vehicles, whether it's the transfer case or the differentials, absolutely take a beating. And they go from extreme temperatures, whether they're buried in snow or they're rock crawling in the mountains.
Right.
And those extreme temperatures under the extreme pressures of those gearboxes destroy driveline oils. So BG has formulated both a GL4 spec oil, which is a spec oil typically used in a manual gearbox, a manual transmission, and a GL5 spec gear oil, which is typically what you're going to find in your differentials. that exceed all of the specifications set forth by all of your manufacturers and aftermarket standards.
Okay.
Why that's important is because as those temperatures get hot, the additive package in those oils breaks down and you lose the protection in those gearboxes. And you know better than anybody, the costly repairs for rebuilding a modern limited slip differential are pretty expensive.
You're right. So some of the products that you guys have got, you've got some fully synthetic gear lubricant, you've got some limited slip additives, you've got some synchro shift. Talk about some of those different products and what they do.
You bet. So the UltraGuard HD is the top of the line, the best available gear oil for a differential.
Okay.
In and of itself, that's going to cover all the needs for any differential configuration. Added with the LS2 limited slip additive, that's going to cover the additive requirements for any limited slip differentials.
Okay.
Particularly your rear ends on your trucks. The Synchro Shift is the GL4 spec oil, and that oil is universally compatible for all manual gearboxes or transfer case units.
Okay.
As it says. In addition, there's a multi-gear concentrate to be added in a manual gearbox that adds a level of protection against oxidation where the gear oils get a little bit hotter.
Got it. Okay.
So the combination of those four products right there will cover any driveline needs on virtually any vehicle that you're going to find in the United States.
Okay, so even some of these, and you know me, I'm familiar with some of this stuff. I mean, back, not that long ago, if you did a gear service on, certain particular Chrysler units, for example, you literally had to go to the dealership to buy the correct spec fluid to even find what you needed to make that work. What you're saying is not the case anymore. You can go right to you guys and get everything you need.
That is correct. But both the Synchro Shift and the UltraGuard are universally compatible for any OE application through model year 2016.
Okay, so talk to us. We talked about the Magnuson-Moss Act a little bit earlier. Some of these powertrains have got 75 to 100,000 mile warranties, but are still going to need serviced prior to the thing running out of warranty. Even though, or let me rephrase that. Does your fluid, if somebody were to walk into a dealership and say, hey, I had this thing serviced, now there's a failure, this is the fluid we used, how does that work warranty-wise? Do you guys have the ability to prove that, listen, this fluid meets all the specs? In other words, that person's not going to have a problem using your product in that warranty period?
That is correct. So we publish a spec sheet for all of our gear oils, for all of our products that indicate the specifications. On that spec sheet, we can cross-reference that to each of the OEM fluids that give us all the documentation that somebody would need in the event of a warranty claim. Now, typically, if they're having a vehicle serviced in Colorado, especially in the driveline, they're going to be having it serviced with our gear oil anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So the dealer is well versed in covering those. But for an aftermarket shop, or for one of our shops, they may need to provide the documentation for the gear oil.
Right.
But if they were to bring that to their local dealer and show the BG UltraGuard gear oil on there, they're absolutely good to go under the warranty coverage.
Okay, yeah, because in some cases, I get what you're saying. Locally, most of our dealers, they know BG and so on. But let's say you get to the middle of you get to Timbuktu, Alaska. You've gone up the highway. You're all sudden up in the middle of nowhere. You've got a problem. You end up at a dealership, and they're like, BG, never heard of the guys. Now, doubtful that's going to be the case. But, Chris, you and I both know there are those times that come up. In this case, you'd have what you need to prove that this thing meets the needs.
That's exactly correct. Now, one thing I want to clarify on that is, right, so even if our manufacturer is saying, look, 75, 100,000 miles, you need to be looking at doing a fluid service on your driveline components. I can tell you from all of the fluids we've tested on all the vehicles that we've looked at anywhere in Colorado, that is way too long.
Yep.
Our recommendation is at 30,000 miles, and then every 30,000 miles after that you perform a complete fluid exchange on all of your driveline components. And in fact, we will cover any repairs after that for the life of the vehicle, even if you're outside of the manufacturer's warranty.
Yeah, that's part of your lifetime BG protection plan, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you can find that, folks, by going to bgprod.com, and any of the products that you click on, there's a little icon down at the bottom of the page of each one of those products that talks about BG's driveline services backed by the lifetime BG protection plan. There's a link there. You click on it. It takes you right to that protection plan, how it reads, what it says, all of that. And it's all right there in black and white. Correct, Chris?
Yes, sir. Actually, it's green and white. But.
Oh, there you go. Okay, perfect. Green and white. And makes it really easy. And the other thing that's kind of slick on there, Chris, and I don't know why I'd never noticed this before. I should have paid attention to this. I don't know why. You actually list on there how often some of those items should be changed according to their service intervals, right?
Exactly. For every one of the components on the lifetime protection plan form, it'll say when the first service needs to be completed, and then the maintenance interval on each of those afterwards.
Makes total sense. Makes it easy. So, in other words, you guys as BG are putting your money where your mouth is, saying, listen, we believe in our product. We know it works. We know it's great for your vehicle. And oh, by the way, we're going to back it up with this warranty to prove to you that we believe in what we're doing.
Absolutely. I do want to clarify, John, that in order to get lifetime protection coverage, all of those services need to be performed at a BG certified location. Like one of your Colorado select groups, or a Napa Auto Care facility here in Colorado. Those can't be do-it-yourself type services.
Yeah, they've got because and nothing against the do-it-yourselfers, but you want to make sure that those services are being quote unquote, properly performed. And what I mean by that is, and Chris, you and I both know when you do a diff service, for example, there's a lot of guys out there, and I've even seen some fly-by-night shops where they do what we used to call a suck and fill. Suck all the fluid out, put new stuff in, and away you go. The problem with that is you haven't gotten rid of all of your sludge, debris, all the crud that's inside of the differential. You don't know what kind of metal shavings are in there. You have no idea what's happening. The correct service is you pull the cover, you wash everything out on the inside, you reseal it, put the cover back on, then add all of your BG products back into it. That's a correct service. And I'm guessing that's why you do it the way you're doing it versus having a do-it-yourselfer do it.
Exactly.
There you go. All right, let's do this. Hang tight, Chris. We'll be back for one more segment. If you got questions for Chris, lines are open, by the way, 303-477-5600. We'll be right back here on Drive Radio. John Rush, your host, KLZ 560.
Your car has up to 24 different onboard computers, making repairs more complicated than ever. Without the right tools, some of these repairs are nearly impossible. Once again, Extreme Auto Repair in Parker has gone to the extreme for you. Extreme owner Dennis Brewster invested in the very same scanning tools the dealerships use. This is important because by using these specialized scan tools, they can directly connect your car's computer system to the actual manufacturer for instant diagnostics. Manufacturer specs and all of the up-to-date, detailed repair information your technician needs to properly fix your car. Best of all, they are faster and always cheaper than the dealerships. Extreme Auto Repair, the most technologically advanced car care center in Douglas County. Tell them you listen to KLZ and they'll take 20% off your bill. Call 303-841-1071, 303-841-1071. Extreme Auto Repair in Parker. Going to the extreme for you.
This is Red Merrill for Phoenix Weaponry. Phoenix Weaponry is a weapon manufacturer that services the firearm enthusiast. From precision ARs to suppressors, Phoenix Weaponry can make your dreams come true. Phoenix Weaponry is a full-service gun shop that offers gunsmithing, coating, and modifications to your own weapon. Phoenix Weaponry, family-owned and operated right here in Colorado. If you can dream it, Phoenix Weaponry can build it. Call today, 720-340-2496. Again, that's 720-340-2496. Or visit their website, phoenixweaponry.com. Mention Sportsman of Colorado and receive 10% off your custom-built weapon.
Hey, John. This is the drive-in break. Actually, no, not. You got about a couple minutes, but this break is where you've got about
2 minutes or so.
And receive a free set of windshield wipers with the mention of this ad. See store for details. Brakes, alignments, or car maintenance. Geno's does it all. In business over 32 years, Geno's offers courtesy vehicles while your car is being serviced. They are conveniently located at Bowles and Platte Canyon in Littleton.
But you still have like 2 minutes, a little bit over 2 minutes.
.com. That's Geno's with a J.
This Wednesday at 6 p.m., Manheim Littleton Auto Auctions will be holding its monthly public car auction with around 200 good title and good condition cars. Don't miss this opportunity for an incredible deal. When you're looking for a third car or a reliable car for your teenager, Manheim Littleton has the right car for the right price for you this Wednesday at 6 p.m. Manheim Littleton is located south of C470 on Santa Fe. $100 registration fee and free dinner is provided for all bidders. Good cars in good condition and a great opportunity to get an incredible deal on a vehicle. Get down to Manheim Littleton Auto Auctions this Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Seatbelts, airbags, onboard radar, laser, and camera systems. The vehicle safety technology available on today's cars and trucks is impressive, but none of it will keep you safe if you're driving on worn-out brakes. Extreme Auto Repair of Parker is a brake repair specialist. There are many reasons for noisy brakes, and most of them are simple fixes, but there's always the chance that something dangerous is going on. Take your car to Extreme Auto Repair of Parker, and their ASE certified master techs will be happy to take a look, just to be on the safe side. Extreme Auto Repair is huge, with 20 service bays, so they always have.
No, you're fine. After this one, you've got a 30-second spot and then the drive-in.
Repair of Parker. Call ahead for even faster service. 303-841-1071. 303-841-1071. Extreme Auto Repair. Going to the extreme for 17 years.
Know-how! That power drill you bought in 96 is working about as awesome as a 20-year-old drill should. Meaning, not so awesome. So trade it in at Napa and get a $25 instant rebate toward a new DeWalt cordless drill kit. There's only one word to describe instantly getting $25 off a new DeWalt drill, and that word is awesome. That's Napa Know-How.
Here we go.
Auto parts stores while supplies last. Trade-in rebate may vary. Offer expires 6/30/16.
Like cars, relationships require regular maintenance, romantic date nights, family bike rides, dinner with the in-laws. Why should your relationship with your car be any different? Give your vehicle a well-deserved night out at the 88 Drive-In in Commerce City.
Admission includes all 3 features, and kids under 12 are free. The 88 Drive-In is open every night of the week, starting at 6 p.m. Friday and Saturday, and 7 p.m. Sunday through Thursday.
Take time to nurture all those special relationships in your life by visiting the 88 Drive-In tonight.
It's drive-in season. The 88 Drive-In has an exciting movie lineup for the weekend, now showing Angry Birds, I can't even say this. Come on, help me out, guys. Mutant Turtles, Out of the Shadows.
Think of Congress.
There we go.
Think of Congress.
And Neighbors 2. See all 3 movies for only $8 per person. The 88 Drive-In is located at the corner of 88th Avenue and Rosemary Street in Commerce City. For more info, go to 88drive.com.
I'm going to see how many I can sneak in my trunk tonight.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh, and we're ready? Oh,
Yeah.
So that's it. Okay, so that was practice. We did well. The 88 Drive-In.
I'm going.
Yeah.
So there you go, Alan. Go. All right, so we've got Chris Hammond with us from BG. We've got calls coming in. Got a couple lines open, 303-477-5600. Chris, again, thanks so much for your time. I know you've got a lot of things going on a Saturday. I appreciate taking time out of your day to join us. Alan, you had a question for
Chris. I was just curious about that Mercon LV. What's equivalent product in BG?
So we have it's part number 312, our universal full synthetic ATF.
Okay. Just curious.
I'm getting ready
to do Mama's Lincoln, so I was just curious what to use.
So part number 312?
312.
312.
Right? So that's not available retail. You'll only be able to find that at a BG certified repair shop.
It's the big jug or whatever, I think.
Okay, so
Chris, it comes in a box.
Like the box.
Chris, and real quick, and I realize we've got a network of Colorado Select facilities here, which we appreciate and we talk about a lot, and I appreciate all the guys. But maybe there's a facility out there that's never used a BG product before but would like to start doing that, how do they get a hold of you? Because there's a lot of shops that listen to this program. Maybe they're not using BG. If they'd like to, how do they do that?
Absolutely. Thanks, John. So bgprod.com, you can click on the Find a Distributor link, and that'll connect you with the distributor that covers the area for that shop that hasn't yet seen the light.
Okay. And by the way, because we have folks listening, I got a call a couple of weeks ago from Minnesota. So we have callers all over the country. So there may be some shops in some areas that aren't that familiar with BG. So those of you that are listening even out of state, it's bgprod.com. And you just heard Chris mention how to do that. All right, let's take Don real quick. He's got a question for us. Don, welcome. What's going on, sir?
Hey, hi, John. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Don.
Nice to talk
Good to hear
you
from you,
guys.
Don.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you. Did you have a good vacation,
I
John?
did, Don. Thanks for asking. Appreciate it.
Well, I had a question for Chris, if I could.
Go right ahead.
Chris, can you talk about the difference between GL4 and GL5 gear oils? My understanding is that GL5 has some compounds in it that eat up the brass components in a transmission, so you're not supposed to use GL5 in a manual?
Well, you pretty much just answered the question. So, is that fortunately, most manual transmissions today have less of the traditional yellow metals. Back in the 80s and 90s, they invented the GL5 spec oil because they needed a better additive package in that gear oil for specifically limited slip differentials. But the additives in that oil would dissolve the yellow metals in a manual gearbox. So they separated the two out. Fortunately, now most modern transmissions, anything you've seen built in this century on a manual transmission, that they really don't have the yellow metals in there.
Okay.
So a GL5 spec oil is going to be pretty compatible in most manual gearboxes. The problem is it costs more. It's usually 20 or 25% more than a GL4 spec oil. So the GL5 is technically backwards compatible. And if you have a newer car, there are some shops that'll just install the GL5 and everything, but the cost gets a little prohibitive there. So most people will still carry both.
But if you have a known vehicle with the older brass rings in the transmission, so let's say you got an old muscle car, for example, or in Don's case, an old Jeep, you'd want to use GL4 rather than 5. Is that right? Is that what you're saying, Chris?
Absolutely. That's exactly correct.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay.
Don, does that help?
Yeah, it helps. Chris, do you have an oil, a 75W gear oil, GL4 gear oil for my synthetic, maybe for my Toyota truck?
We do. It's the one John mentioned earlier, Synchro Shift 2. That's part number 792.
And what's the viscosity on that?
It's a 7590.
Oh, okay. I'll give it a shot. And how about for differentials? I run an 80W90 in my differential, but I can't find a synthetic 8090. Do you make one?
I would use that exact same Synchro Shift. So even though it's a 7590, you get better cold flow properties, and it's a perfect application.
You'd be fine with that. Yep.
But it's a GL4, and in a diff, you're supposed to use GL5, right?
Not on that. On that old diff of yours, you'd be fine with that, Don.
The Synchro Shift, that's compatible with high point gears?
Yes. No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not. Let me step back. So Don, I said that all incorrectly. You said your differential, and I heard transfer case. So I apologize.
Sorry. Yeah, my differential, and I run an 8090 GL5. Does BG make anything in a synthetic for me in that?
We do. So it's the Ultra Guard Light Duty, or part number 750. And that's what you want, which is a GL5 spec oil.
Okay, and it's an 8090 viscosity?
It's also a 7590, which is, again, going to give you the better cold flow properties.
Okay. You know, it always confuses me when the manual says use 80W90, but when I go to get the oil, guys will always say, oh, you can use 7590 or you can use 75140. And I'm confused. Why would the manufacturer say 7090 when...
Because they didn't have those other viscosities back in the day when they wrote those manuals. That's what the biggest reason, Don.
Yeah. Okay, I understand.
And a lot of times it's cheaper, John.
And you can add to this, Chris, but back then we just didn't have the oil technology that we have today, correct, Chris?
Well, the technology required to make a 75 140 oil is tremendous, right? To get a multi-vis with that kind of range on it is pretty complicated. So yes, they didn't have it 20 years ago, but also there's a significant cost factor there.
That's true too.
The price difference between the two is just pretty significant.
That's true.
And that's the only reason to use the lower viscosity, really, is for price savings.
All right, guys, we got to run. I appreciate it, Don, so much. Thank you. Chris, again, join us again in the future. We'll get you back on. And, Chris and I are working on this. We just have to, we just got to slow down long enough to get this done on a more routine basis. It's always a joy having you, Chris. You do a great job. Anytime you want to come in studio, you're welcome to do so. I know you got a busy day ahead of you. Thanks for joining us, though. I really, really appreciate it.
Love being here. Thanks for your time, guys.
You're very welcome, Chris. Take care.
Thanks,
Chris
Chris.
Hammond, bgprod.com. Anything you need to know, give us a call, and we'll get you in touch with Chris directly if you need be. So with that, let's take a quick timeout. We've got the news break coming up, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Second hour of Drive Radio coming your way right here on KLZ 560.
Still haven't had enough? Go to drive-radio.com. Email your questions and comments. Download previous programs and find lots of useful information, including your nearest Colorado Select Auto Care Center. That's drive-radio.com. Thanks for listening to Drive Radio, sponsored by the member shops of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers on KLZ 560.
Drive Radio is a presentation of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. The independently owned and operated shops of Colorado Select hold each other accountable for their highest standards of technical expertise, honesty, and professionalism. They all understand that choosing a mechanic is risky business, so Colorado Select was created by this exclusive group of like-minded professionals who are dedicated to raising the level of consumer confidence in Colorado's auto repair industry. Schedule your next oil change at any of the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers heard on Drive Radio, and you'll immediately see the difference. For the complete list of all the member shops in the state, visit drive-radio.com.
John Rush during the afternoon rush, weekdays from 3 to 6 on KLZ 560.
It's springtime in the Rockies with Sportsman of Colorado. Hi, this is Scott Watley. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 1. We'll tell you where the fish are biting with our fishing experts from Discount Fishing Tackle. We'll talk with some of our favorite outfitters for turkey and the upcoming Colorado big game seasons. No Limits Archer will be here to get you ready for your archery season. All that and more on Sportsman of Colorado, Saturdays 1 to 2 p.m. right here on KOZ 560. Check out our website, sportsmanofcolorado.com. If you like the outdoors, you'll love Sportsman of Colorado.
Right now, The Source is simulcasting in AM and FM. KLZ Denver, AM 560. KLZ FM 100.7. And KLDC Denver, AM 1220 and FM 95.3. KLDC HD Denver and KLZ HD Denver with online listening at 560thesource.com.
This is USA Radio News. I'm Jules McKinney.
I am the greatest.
Tributes to Muhammad Ali have rolled in from around the world since his death Friday was announced by family members. He died at a Phoenix area hospital from complications of a respiratory issue. The Philippines and Congo, scenes of two of his epic fights, both say they will mourn Ali's passing. Ali was 74 years old. The Blue Angels are remembering Marine Captain Jeff Coos.
The nation has lost an incredible husband, father, son, Marine, and teammate. Truly one of the absolute finest Americans this country can produce.
The Durango, Colorado native was killed when his F-18 fighter jet crashed not long after taking off from the runway in Smyrna, Tennessee on Thursday during a practice run. The Navy said the 32-year-old was in his second year with the Blue Angels and his first year as a demonstration pilot. This is USA Radio News.
Hello, I'm Aaron, a student at Hillsdale College. Here is Hillsdale President Larry Arnn on why Americans should study the presidency.
People should study the American presidency because it's one of the three branches of government, and it's the part that acts. And so when the government gets ready to do something to us or to our allies or enemies in the world, it's the executive branch that does it. And there's some reason to fear it these days. It's an awesome power. But in addition, there's a series of constraints on it. One of them is there's an amount of time he's got, and then he's got to go back to the people. Another is he has to do things that are lawful, and he doesn't get to make the laws. And so a constitutional executive is a very powerful thing, operating under the constraints and for the purposes of the Constitution of the United States.
This Constitution Minute was brought to you by Hillsdale College. To receive a free pocket Constitution and Declaration, go to constitutionminute.com.
KLZ Denver.
John Rush during the afternoon rush, weekdays from 3 to 6 on KLZ 560.
Being an expert on general automotive knowledge, what would the correct ignition timing be on a 1955 Bel Air Chevrolet with a 327 cubic inch engine and a full barrel carburetor?
It is a trick question.
Watch this.
The Chevy didn't make a 327 in 55. The 327 didn't come out till 62. And it wasn't offered in the Bel Air with a 4-barrel carb till 64. However, in 1964, the correct ignition timing will be 4 degrees before top dead center.
Get ready for another hour of Drive Radio, brought to you by Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. Got a question for the experts? Then give them a call, 303-477-5600. Now it's time to pop the hood and get our hands dirty. Drive Radio on KLZ 560 The Source.
And this is John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560, heard on 95.3 and 100.7 FM. Alan Stefan from Gates, and actually several other lines of products, is with us from Napa. And Jeff Kitty from Larry's Automotive and Transmission, as well as Mindy, our great engineer, and Larry Unger on the other side of the glass. Anything you need, we're here for you. We've got lines open. Call us right now. We'll get you right on air, 303-477-5600. Also want to say a special thanks to Chris from BG from coming on with us this first hour this morning. If you missed any of that, you can catch it on our podcast. We'll have those up later tonight. Really, really appreciate Chris, his involvement with us here on Drive Radio. BG products, you can't go wrong buying any of their products. They're just fantastic. They do a great job. Also, if it is Sunday, which it could be.
Could be.
It's not now, but it could be.
We might not know it.
If it is, we would love to have you contact us, but you can't call in. You can sure email us. In fact, you can do it even on a Saturday. Email me at john@drive-radio.com, or go right to our website, drive-radio.com, and you can click on the contact us and fill that all in, and we'll get you answered. And typically on a Sunday, I do my best to even answer you on a Sunday if I can. Also, there's lots of new sponsors. We've got several new sponsors that I announced today. We've got Manheim Auto Auction. Chris is going to be joining us here in not the too distant future. We'll talk about what they have going on. We've got a new realtor that has joined our program, Tom Witzel, and he's a Colorado native, full-time agent since 1999, and he's got a great team of people that helps him. He is in the people business, not the house business. Highly experienced. Anything you need, he is skilled at helping you find the house that you need. And I will say, after just going through that process and buying another house and moving, it's an emotional drag, or can be. You need somebody on your side that will make that as painless as possible and who knows what to do. I'm at a point where I'm pretty much a do-it-yourself kind of a guy. I would not even think of selling a home on my own. There is so much to do anymore, I wouldn't even think about it. So give Tom a call today. Anything you need. Maybe you're thinking about, hey, should I move? Should I not move? What are my options? Give Tom a call. Have him evaluate what's going on, and he'll help walk you through that. You can find him at tomwitzel.com. It's TOMWITZEL.com, or call his cell phone at 303-808-2206. So again, Tom, thanks so much for joining us. He's with Remax Alliance in Westminster. Each office is independently owned and operated, but Tom's a great guy. He'd be more than happy to help you out, so I really appreciate him joining us also. Let's go to Joe in Thornton, who is next. Joe, welcome. What's going on today, sir?
A couple of years ago, you helped me select an oil for a 68 Mustang with a 390.
Okay.
It was a deep oil. The memory's gone. What did you suggest?
Well, I tell you what, now that you ask, we have just got a little sheet today that Larry brought in. Universal Oil, who is a company that a lot of us buy oil from, has actually come out with a vintage classic premium synthetic engine oil designed specifically for what you're talking about that several years ago I would not have been able to give you because this has just come out. It's got the right amount of ZDDP. It's a 550 weight oil, which for your old classic would work fantastic. And Larry, talk in my ear if I'm correct, but you can actually buy this at the Napa Arvada store. Am I correct in saying that? So the Napa Arvada store has these in a 2.5 gallon jug. And there you go. Just ask for the Universal Vintage Synthetic Classic Oil. It's made by Universal.
Got it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I appreciate that. So yeah, that was a great segue. So they just came out with this oil. And by the way, Universal, they're a company that you are typically not going to go out and buy on a retail basis. But I've been through their plant in Wichita, Kansas. These guys know how to do oil. They know how to make it work. And it's a fantastic company. And I've ran it now in my fleet for 2 years, I want to say now, and haven't had a single issue at all. I run Universal in every one of my fleet vehicles. It's fantastic. They do a great job. So there you have it. And the price is great.
They must be able to do their own additive packages and things.
They do. It's exactly what it is. So yeah, they've got their own refinery in Wichita, Kansas. They can blend all sorts of different oils. And they do, by the way, they blend some oils even for some other folks that are out there. But here's the rub on Universal, which I thought was interesting. They service out here in the West and even in the Midwest a lot of dealerships. So if a dealership says, well, you can't use their oil, it's going to void your warranty. They're using a lot of it already. So yeah, you can use their oil. And this is a specific oil designed for that classic vintage car. It's a 550 weight. It has all the right amount of additives in it. So there you have it. Alan, you brought in a trick little, it's a ruler, but it's really not a ruler. Explain what you brought in. I know this is hard over the air to explain, but you brought something in today, which I found rather fascinating.
Yeah. It's a piece of condenser material. And
so a condenser is what?
It's going to be a heat exchanger generally in the front of the vehicle.
Which is on the AC
for
components,
the AC,
right?
Yeah, for one of the AC components. And this is just kind of, it really shows why you cannot flush these components anymore.
Because I can't hardly see down the holes that are in this thing. It looks like a ruler, not a tubed item.
Right. And that kind of threw you at first because the last one that I had, the material you could see light through it.
This one I can't see any light through.
But it's a condenser material, a gas refrigerant will go through there with a mist oil. But if that gets clogged due to bad oil or a compressor has come apart.
I was going to say, any kind of metal filings, anything at all, you're not going to push through this. It's done.
So
you have to replace this.
You have to replace that component. And yeah, it's just part of the process now.
So what year vehicles basically on this?
It's probably starting within the last 5 years. Not everything. It just depends on the vehicle. If they're having cooling issues.
2011 and newer.
Yeah, sure.
And if I'm not mistaken, haven't they retrofitted some of this into the older units?
So like if you're replacing that condenser, they're going to that material.
So in other words, you could actually have an older vehicle that somebody replaced a condenser on that still has this material in it.
Exactly.
Right? And it's all about surface area and being able to release heat to make less refrigerant
more effective.
Yeah, more effective.
It helps a 134 do a better job.
And it makes the whole vehicle lighter, which helps in with cafe ratings and all those other things too, correct?
Right. They're trying cost. Sure.
Let's not forget that part of it. It costs less money.
We're talking about maintaining systems. We're talking about gearboxes. We're talking about fuel systems.
Guys, maybe I'm wrong in this, but I am guessing that the drill bit size of the hole is, I'm not sure most people would even have it inside.
Look up what's a human hair. That's about...
you're not going to have a drill bit in your toolbox that even go inside of this.
No.
It's a number drill size, and I'm guessing it's probably about... about a 60.
I was going to say it's a 50 or above.
Yeah.
Because it's that small. And by the way, that when you do number drills, the bigger the number, the smaller the diameter. So it's the opposite of what you think. You think, well, that's about a number one. No, it's the opposite. It goes smaller the bigger the number. And I mean, I've got some drill bits at home that are numbers that are so small they're like hair. but
you can't see.
you can't
It's
see
like
through
inside an oil filter. Oh,
Light.
I can buy an oil filter for $2.99. Well, what's in it?
Right.
So you can't see this component.
And you won't know that it's there.
But we're trying to get that at the service shop, so at least they can show people.
This may very well be part of your problem. And if we do any kind of an AC compressor service, we're going to have to replace this. Is what you're
In
saying,
a lot of
right?
cases, yes. Unfortunately, that's going to be the.
Is it going to be standard? If you've had a compressor blow up and you've got one of these type of condensers, you're going to
do it correctly.
You're going to, well, if you want it to work after you're done,
If you want it to work,
you're going to be putting this in.
Yeah, more than
Warranty.
Yeah, more than 50 miles or so.
You know, a lot of
Okay,
our
so
stuff-
hang on. So stop 1 second. Why would it work for 50 miles and then stop? Because it's flowing for a little bit of the time and then it plugs this up?
Yeah, the refrigerant is carrying the oil to the compressor. They don't mix, so if you're restricting the refrigerant flow, feels kind of cool, but I'll just keep going. Well,
So
that
it may be cooling out of the shop, but you get down the road 40, 50 miles, it stops.
There you go. The compressor can burn up that quick.
Okay, so there you have it, guys. Right from the horse's mouth. So AC is a big, big deal, and it's not something, and I used to say this all the time, especially when I was a shop owner, and I'll keep saying it now. It's not something that you really want to do yourself.
You can't.
Well, you can.
No, you can't.
Well,
Yeah, you're both right.
can.
You're
You
both
can.
right.
I mean, I know you can't, but you can go to some parts stores and buy these little do-it-yourself for Freon kits,
They got these little technicians in a can.
You can technically do it yourself,
And they will plug. They'll go in there.
It's not
and
going to
plug
work when you're done.
They'll plug the hole, but
You get where I'm coming from?
yeah,
guys?
I'm with you.
They'll work okay.
You can go to Walmart, for example, and off the shelf, buy some Freon and try to do a fix yourself. The problem is when you're looking at what I'm looking at right now, and if you've got a problem, that's not going to
And
fix
the other
it.
side of that, John, is once you contaminated what you've got in there, how do you get rid of it?
And there's a lot of funky Freon on the market.
And additives, sealant, O-ring expanders.
Yeah, we're bottom line, what we're really getting, Jeff's correct, really. Ultimately, Jeff is correct, because you can't do this yourself if you want the job done right. That's really what it boils down to.
It's kind of a pay me now or pay me later.
That's exactly right. Okay, guys.
But AC systems need to be serviced.
Yeah, hold that thought. Let's talk about that when we come back and talk about what you do in an AC service. Lines are open, by the way. Any questions that you've got, it may be AC related, maybe coolant related, maybe belts and hoses, might be transmission related. You name it. We've got guys here that can answer it. 303-477-5600. I also got shipped to me this last week, and I'll do some testing on it this weekend. Somebody that wants to be a new sponsor, but I said, hey, I need to try the product first before we do it. And it's some sort of a waterless car wash, which I've tried some of those in the past, and some of them aren't half bad. I'll do some testing this week, tell you next week how well it works or doesn't work, and if it works, we may have another Drive Radio sponsor. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. This is Drive Radio. John Rush, your host, KLZ 560.
You don't need an air-conditioned steering wheel or high-performance supercharger to use Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil. Now just $5.99 a quart at Napa. Mobil 1 offers premium protection for all cars, premium or not so premium. So give your ride Mobil 1 synthetic just $5.99 a quart, even if it doesn't have the latest technological stuff. That's Napa know-how.
General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 6/30/16.
Does your vehicle drive straight? Are your tires wearing even? Have you hit a few curbs or potholes lately? If any of these sound familiar, then you should have your alignment checked. At Arvada West Auto and Truck, we have the latest in alignment imaging technology to give you the perfect alignment. Many times, extra parts are needed to keep the tires wearing correctly. Call or stop in at Arvada West Auto and Truck, 11752 West 64th Avenue, just west of Sims. 303-422-1065.
At Lone Tree Veterinary Medical Center, we believe that all pets deserve to have a good life. And because we know that your pet will have many different needs throughout its life, we offer complete pet care services. Whether your furry friend needs a checkup, vaccinations, boarding, grooming, obedience training, we are here for your pet 7 days a week. At Lone Tree Veterinary Medical Center, we know that you want the very best for your pet, which is why you can count on us for the latest in technology and methods in everything we do. We are certified with the highest rank rankings by the American Animal Hospital Association and hold a gold star rating with the Better Business Bureau. You and your pet can visit us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are located at 8681 East Lincoln Avenue in Lone Tree. Learn more about us by visiting our website at LoneTreeVet.com or give us a call at 303-708-8050. We believe that all pets deserve to have a good life.
The idea was to give drivers a definitive list of the top auto repair shops in Denver. John Rush here. We started Colorado Select Car Care Centers 15 years ago as a referral service to help consumers find an honest repair shop they could trust. Colorado Select Auto Care Centers are peer-reviewed, ASE certified master technicians that are required to maintain the highest standards of technical excellence, consumer satisfaction, cleanliness, and most importantly, they all offer the industry's best 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on every repair. Choose any Colorado Select Auto Care Center and you'll finally have a technician you can trust. Find one near you at coloradoselect.com.
New gasoline direct injection engines, also known as GDI, are the hottest new improvement to horsepower and fuel efficiency in this century. Service professionals agree that GDI's unique power requires unique GDI maintenance. BG Products has the most current and effective GDI maintenance available in over 20,000 shops, and they back it up with a lifetime BG protection plan. Go to bgfindashop.com. That's bgfindashop.com. If you have a GDI engine and you want it to last, remember 2 more letters. BG.
Hey, we're back. Drive Radio, KLZ 560. We're looking for some phone calls, though. So give us a call. I know it's an absolutely gorgeous, beautiful day. We've had a lot of topics we've talked about. But hey, anything you need for your vehicle, we're here to answer it. 303-477-5600. I also want to give a big thank you to Dennis Brewster and the guys, Steve and the guys, for filling in last week for me while I was out of town. I really appreciate that very much. Plus, it was a Memorial Day weekend, so having those guys come in and fill in on a holiday weekend, thank you.
You got Dennis out of mowing the grass.
Appreciate that.
I'll tell you what, John, we've got a great group of guys.
We really do. We do.
I haven't, I'm a newbie. I admit it. But I'll tell you,
you're not that new.
Well, no, but compared to you guys, I've only been doing this for 4 years, 5 years?
We've been doing it a while. I showed Dan some pictures the other day when during the week of some of the shows we were doing way back when we were on the other station. And he's like, man, you guys have been doing this a while. I'm like, yeah, we have.
But,
you're right.
The one thing I will say is you can't beat this group of guys.
Good guys.
They will help anybody out.
Yep. Well, and guys, partially, I hope those of you listening understand this. That's why we have as many sponsors as we have, because people know that this show works. We've got a network of individuals that are more than willing to go out of their way and help people. That goes for the shops that are involved, along with our sponsors that are involved. And in an example, Larry walked in a moment ago and said, hey, you know what? You forgot to talk about 88 Drive-In. I'm like, what? And he's like, kids under 12 are free. I said, ooh.
And they're showing kids show.
That's kind of a big deal. So yeah, 88 Drive-In, $8 a person for movies, but kids under 12 are free. So if you've got a boatload of kids, $16 for mom and dad, you go to the movies and you're done. That's a cheap night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really is. And they've got a full concession stand and everything else you need. So I know Susan, the owner there, very well.
What's a babysitter?
They will take care of you. More than that.
Oh,
more than that.
So maybe I had to drive all the kids there and we could leave and go somewhere.
No, it doesn't work that way, Alan. You had to stay with the kids.
You have to stay with them.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
It could be even a cheap way for grandma and grandpa.
Well, that's true too.
I forgot about that.
Good point.
Hey,
going to the drive-in's a blast.
Yeah.
So anyways, you'll want to do that. Head out to the 88 Drive-In. Go to 88drive.com. Check out the website. And great folks out there running it. And you
what was playing, wrong. John? Let's try that again.
Real quick. We have got Angry Birds, Teenage Mutant Turtles Out of the Shadows.
Okay.
And Neighbors 2. All of those, all three, $8.
Yeah.
That's like a whole night, guys.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, let's go to the movies. Yeah, literally, we're going to go to the movies all night.
I'm just going to take my wife there. Hey, it's cheap.
It's not a bad deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're up in the Commerce City area, again, the corner of 88th Avenue and Rosemary. Again, great new sponsor to Drive Radio. Thank you, Susan and Kylene and everybody. I appreciate it very, very much. We'll do our best to get you some folks out there. And as time goes by, as we get through the summer. I think Dan's already working on how we can be out there, do some car shows, some remotes, some things along those lines.
Nice.
So it'll be a blast. There's also another big car show coming up this next weekend. Alan, talk about that real quick.
Oh, that's at Havana Cruise. It's going to be huge. I mean, I don't know all the details. I know I'm working it, and I will call in, John, and try to give you some more information.
So that is next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend.
And it's a Colfax typically is where they do it on, right?
Yeah, and they're running from about, I think it starts Parker, goes up to about 6.
So do we run it on Havana itself instead of Colfax this time?
Yes.
So it's a Havana cruise, not the Colfax cruise.
Yeah, it's a poker run and everything. I needed to get you more information. I should have had it.
If you do that this week, I'll talk more about it next weekend. In fact, I could even talk about it during the week just a little bit. So give you some info
Fair
and I'll
enough.
get that
Yeah,
done.
we'll promote
All right,
that.
So guys, we talked AC, talked why, before we left that last break, you do have to do maintenance on an AC system, which most guys, especially some old guys, are thinking, huh? I thought you turned it on. That was the maintenance I used to do. So what do you mean you got to do maintenance?
Well, typically, I mean, the systems leak. Unlike refrigerators, automotive AC systems leak. So,
and that's because they're moving around, bouncing around. They got
hitting
huge
potholes.
temperature swings where your refrigerator sits in one spot, never moves.
And getting back to what you guys were somewhat arguing about, a right way, wrong way to do it. Well, do-it-yourselfers can do it, but they can't do it.
Right.
So typically, we should bring that in because you have a new refrigerant machine, right?
Yes, I do.
And so we pull that out. We weigh it. What do we take out? We know what it's supposed to be in there. And
You know
then,
what the differentiation
yeah,
is.
we know what the differentiation is.
We can tell if the system's low. We can get an idea what's going on with it.
Sure.
And legally, you're supposed to capture all that's coming out anyway. So
Right.
you're doing that.
And then he's going to pull it out. It's going to dry it, clean it, and then put it back in. And so that's how it should be done instead of just adding, I'm going to add a can of refrigerant and see where it's at. Well, typically you could overcharge it.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's just as bad as undercharge.
You can create a lot of problems for yourself on that.
Absolutely. So that's why I am just recommending taking it to one of the shops. You're going to save money in the long run.
Makes total sense. All right, let's do this. Let's take some calls. 303-477-5600. We would love to have you call in. 303-477-5600. And I've got some emails coming in, but I will, let's see here.
Got to go back on something because when we had Chris online, we were going to talk about the flush of the coolant system.
You know what? While I read this email, you guys talk real quick about that.
Yeah.
Do that. And I'll read this email.
We've been doing a lot more cooling system flushes with the Gates power flusher.
Correct. Doing them correctly.
Yeah. And it's amazing how much junk we can get out of those systems with that thing.
I was just curious, and that you're probably using it the way that we told you to use it, but are you incorporating the BG cleaner too?
We've been incorporating the BG cleaner. We had a Dodge 300M that was having a heating problem.
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out, the customer actually had combined some universal coolant and compromised
All makes, all models?
Yeah, all makes, all
Yeah.
models. by a competitor auto parts store's advice. It'll fit. Don't worry about it.
And what it ended up doing was coating the inside of the system.
The two coolants
They don't mesh.
didn't cohabitate well with each other.
Oh, I mean, there's different technologies of coolant?
Yes, there is.
Oh, okay.
And so what had happened, we had to run the cleaner through it, get all that scum off so we could get a good heat transfer on the radiator.
Right on.
All right. Wally's up next. Wally, welcome, sir.
Hey, John, how are you?
Doing good. Thanks for calling, Wally.
You're welcome. I got several questions. I bought an 05 Tundra. It has been well maintained by the previous owner through a shop in Castle Rock.
Okay.
Good.
Did I hear you guys say that you recommend changing differential fluids every 30,000 miles in this?
Diff and T-case on that unit every 30K, I would do. 30 to 40K.
That's a very good idea.
Yep.
Okay.
And back when I had my stores, that's one of the vehicles. And partially, Wally, think of this. I don't want to say it's undersized, but those diffs in that, I mean, that's a half-ton truck. Literally, all half-ton trucks could have a larger differential in them than they have. It's just the way they build them. They're trying to save, fuel economy and so on. So I don't want to say they're undersized, but it's just a half-ton truck. The problem being there's not as much fluid capacity there as there really should be. So you'll actually watch it get dirty faster than you would even say a 3/4 ton truck.
Yep.
Okay. I have never done differential fluids. I'm assuming on the Tundra, do you have to take the cover off, or is there actually a drain plug? I haven't even
I
looked.
think your Tundra has a.
I think it's got a drain plug.
I think there's a. I was just gonna say. I think there's a drain. I don't think there's any cover on the Tundra, so that will be a drain and fill.
Yes.
And you just fill it till you're starting to dribble out the fill hole?
Just like you would in the old days.
Yep.
And you guys recommend synthetics for it?
Yep. Use the BG products we just talked about earlier. They work fantastic.
Okay. What about the transmission in this?
Same thing. The big thing is that I think what we're alluding to is there's an additive package in the oil. Okay, and with the what that additive package is for film strength.
Right.
And with when you've got gears meshing against gears in that, you need to keep that film strength up. And at the intervals that the manufacturer is recommending,
it's too long in between.
It's too long in between. And I think partially the reason they do those long intervals, John, and I don't know if you got anything on this, is because they want the cost of maintaining that vehicle to be down low.
Yep.
So that it's more enticing.
They want to try to sell you on a less cost of ownership, but
exactly.
They tend to forget that if you want that thing, that truck you've got will last 400,000 miles plus. But if you want to do that, you've got to take care of it.
So
okay,
that's basically the situation there.
It's probably the smoothest truck I've ever owned.
Yep.
And it's been well taken care of.
Yeah, they work great.
The transmission's the only one that I probably would not try and do the.
No, you need a good, and I wouldn't, frankly, even in my own shop at my own house, unless I had a flush machine there, I wouldn't do it either, because you really need to do a fluid transfer on that, and that's a $4,000 machine that most do-it-yourselfers are just not going to have.
But you don't recommend a high pressure flush, right? Just drain and fill on the transmission.
The transmission is a fluid exchange. It's not high pressure, but it's an exchange rate at what's coming out of the pump is what's going back in at the same time.
Okay.
It's not a pressure flush of any kind. It's just replacing what's coming out of the vehicle
automatically.
Well, I'm gonna put a plug in here. I live fairly close to Geno's, and when I bought this truck, I actually purchased new Bilstein 5100 so I could level the front end.
Got it.
And I didn't know that they would. I didn't know if they would install them for me, but they did.
Okay.
And align the front end, and they actually came in almost $100 underneath what they had quoted me.
Awesome. And by the way, they've got the flush machine I just talked about too on the transmission side of it,
Yeah,
and use all
I'm
the
gonna use
BG
them for
products.
doing that. So
Yep, they'll do it all.
I think your first caller was a gal talking about the gasoline.
Yes.
I just want to say, there's two stations out now in Lakewood. The Shell station on West Alameda, west of Sims, has one pump with premium non-ethanol, and then Brad's Conoco at Mississippi and Union. They're both very close.
Right.
I keep two gas cans that I have one for my two-stroke and one for a regular. I use it. I keep it all the time for snowblower, lawnmower, rototiller, the two-stroke, for the blower. One of the best things you can do for those machines is buy that non-ethanol premium.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to go bad on you. You don't have to worry about treating it to keep it over the winter or anything else. But I go through quite a bit of it, and I know my '63 Falcon with a little 144 6-cylinder wasn't designed for premium, but it runs so much better on that non-ethanol gas that's what I put in it out there too.
Yep.
And so
good stuff.
I wish there were more gas stations around town that would do a single pump of premium, because all these cars now, all these turbos and things, and the motorcycles, they would be surprised how much of that they would sell. And right now it sells for almost $1 a gallon more than the regular premium.
Right.
But it's still worth it.
Infrastructure costs is probably the biggest reason they don't do it.
I understand, but I just wish more gas stations would do
I
it.
agree. Wally, appreciate the phone call very much. Thanks
Have a
for
good one.
joining us. No, thank you very much. Chris from Manheim, hang on one sec. We're going to talk to Craig real quick. Craig in Loveland, what's going on, sir?
Yeah, hey, I got a 69 Chevy pickup. It's got the 292 6-cylinder 4-speed, the Saginaw with the granny gear.
Okay.
And it came with a 411 Posi, so I put a 307 in it, and I'm looking to upgrade the trans, so I just picked up a T5 trans out of S10.
Okay.
And it has the electronic speedometer.
Okay.
And I'm curious if I can convert that to a manual one.
No, but no, I don't believe you can convert that to manual.
So I'd have to go with.
I think it's going to depend. I think it's going to depend on what the drive for the. I'm trying to think of whether that shaft's the same. I don't think they got a. I think it's press on, and they don't have the press on gear.
It's got a wheel. It's got a wheel in there. Yeah, it's got a reluctor wheel in there instead of gears. That's why you can't change it around.
Oh.
And they don't make a speedometer gear that'll press on the same spot.
So you can go the other way around. You can take a manually driven unit, put an adapter on it to run something electronic as far as speedos go, but I don't know of anybody that goes backwards like you're talking about. I'd have to do some research on that. I don't know of anybody that'll go backwards.
If you got an older T5, they did have...
Older T5s had that.
Yeah.
But not the newer ones.
Had it. And there's just not a place on the shaft for
What I mean by older is, you've got to get back into the early to mid 90s at the latest to not have a reluctor wheel. Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
Darn. All right. Well, otherwise, I read somewhere you could take an S10 speedometer and just take the guts and put them in.
Yeah. The other option, and there's Dakota Digital. There's lots of companies out there where you could convert what you have to a digital speedometer, and you could do that. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That might be that may be your easiest when it's all said and done.
That would probably be better too.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for your time.
You betcha, Craig. Thanks for calling. We appreciate it very much. All right, Chris from Manheim, hang tight. We got to take a real quick break. We'll come right back and we'll talk about what's coming up in the auction world at Manheim right after this. This is Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
Geno's with a J is your go-to auto service shop in Littleton for all your car care needs. Needing an oil change? Take advantage of Geno's premium $29.95 oil change and receive a free set of windshield wipers with the mention of this ad. See store for details. Brakes, alignments, or car maintenance. Geno's does it all. In business over 32 years, Geno's offers courtesy vehicles while your car is being serviced. They are conveniently located at Bowles and Platte Canyon in Littleton. Visit them online at genosautoservice.com. That's Geno's with a J.
Know-how! Goop, gunk, sludge, whatever you want to call it. It's the stuff that makes your engine just plain dirty. Luckily, the active cleaning power of Pennzoil conventional motor oil, just $3.39 a quart at Napa, helps keep your engine clean. So pick up Pennzoil conventional for $3.39 a quart at Napa and say goodbye to gunk. That's Napa know-how.
General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 6/30/16.
Seatbelts, airbags, onboard radar, laser, and camera systems. The vehicle safety technology available on today's cars and trucks is impressive, but none of it will keep you safe if you're driving on worn-out brakes. Extreme Auto Repair of Parker is a brake repair specialist. There are many reasons for noisy brakes, and most of them are simple fixes, but there's always the chance that something dangerous is going on. Take your car to Extreme Auto Repair of Parker, and their ASE certified master techs will be happy to take a look, just to be on the safe side. Extreme Auto Repair is huge, with 20 service bays, so they always have room for you, especially if you tell them you're a KLZ listener. Extreme Auto Repair of Parker. Call ahead for even faster service, 303-841-1071. 303-841-1071. Extreme Auto Repair. Going to the extreme for 17 years.
Every car has a transmission, and every transmission needs servicing, but most drivers ignore their transmission. Don't fix what ain't broke, as they say. Larry's Automotive is the area's most respected transmission and driveline repair facility, and they'll tell you that most of the expensive repairs they do could easily have been avoided with regular scheduled maintenance. Maybe they were told by a mechanic that their transmission fluid was getting dark, or maybe there was a slight hesitation between gears. Whatever the case, they are now faced with expensive repairs. Larry's technicians are ATRA and ASE certified, and their warranty covers you even if you're out of town. And while there's nobody better for transmission repair than Larry's Automotive, the truth is they would have preferred to do the preventive maintenance instead. Larry's Automotive and Transmission Repair, the Driveline Pros on Bradburn Boulevard in Westminster. Call 303-427-2108. 303-427-2108.
This is ASE Automotive Professional Pam Oaks, and it's time to take a 60-second break and make you a savvy car consumer. Looks like Takata's taking the high road. The air restraint manufacturer is ruling out bankruptcy to limit their financial liabilities. Takata is looking for other interested parties to take over the company's shares. This includes the Takata family stock and the removal of family on the board, making good on their recall affecting approximately 80 million air restraints. Is your vehicle included? Go to safercar.gov and search your VIN number and find out. Lesson learned. Want to learn more about your vehicle? Visit me at carcarefortheclueless.com, making you a savvy car consumer.
And this is Drive Radio. John Rush, your host, KLZ 560, heard on 95.3 and 100.7 FM, as well as TuneIn. That is the app you can find on your smartphone, and also 560thesource.com. So we've got Chris from Mannheim joining us right now. So Chris, welcome. What's going on today, sir?
Hey, I appreciate you letting me call in. Just getting all ramped up and excited for our auction this Wednesday.
Right on. Right on. Actually going to come out and see you. So first of all, let's talk about Mannheim for a minute. So what do you guys do? You know, why a part of Drive Radio? In other words, why are we going down this path in the first place?
Okay. Well, Mannheim itself is probably the largest auto auction in the world. And they've got over 50 locations just in the U.S. So we've got 2 here in Colorado. I represent the one at Mannheim Littleton, which primarily puts its focus on salvage vehicles. So if your car gets in a car accident and totaled, it's going to be sold at this auction almost 9 times out of 10. But what we're trying to do now is we're trying to shift the focus a little bit and say, hey, not everyone wants to buy salvage. Some people actually want to drive a car that works. So we're switching the focus a little bit to get some good title, good condition cars that are still cheap for the general public.
Right on. Okay, so I know a little bit about you guys. I mean, known about the auction thing for a while, but there's folks out there listening thinking, well, I thought only dealers could go to those auctions. I didn't realize I could go, or, last time I went, I had to find somebody with a license to go with me, a dealer's license to go with me. What's the scoop on that now?
Well, they're not wrong in thinking that. That's the way most of these are going to be, whether it's Mannheim, Denver, our main store, or you look at a DESA or a dealer's auto auction. There's a lot of different ones that require a dealer's license. However, at our auction, we have made a certain ability for the public to come in. So they do not have to have a dealer's license. They just have to register for us in order to come in as the public.
Okay, so they have to register. And I heard we ran your commercial already, so it's a $100 registration fee, but you get free dinner.
Yep. Yeah, you get free dinner. Yeah, the $100 covers you for the year, so you don't have to pay $100 every time you come in.
Okay, so okay, so commercial wasn't that specific, so $100 for the whole year, and you still get dinner.
Yep, you still get dinner each and every time you want to come in.
Okay.
And of course, there's other separate fees that come in as you buy a car. There always is when you buy cars, but at least that's going to allow you access into the auction right away.
Okay, so what do you have to do to register? Is it something you do beforehand online? Do you do it as soon as you get there? How does all that work?
We don't have everything set up for online right now for the public. Still, it's kind of dealer-centered, so it's hard to do everything online. But they can easily stop by the auction anytime. Even as the auction starts, they're always welcome to come in and do that, or ahead of time. And they can even call in for more information and see if there's anything they might be able to do to print off any forms or mail. But ideally, it's going to be coming into the auction just to make sure you're dotting all your I's and crossing your T's.
Okay. Is there any sort of a list, or is there a possibility that, Alan over here, who's sitting next to me, Alan Stefan from Gates, he was thinking about coming out to one of the auctions looking for a kid car, right, Alan? Is that what you're looking for? So looking for a kid car, so it's a perfect setup.
A poor grandpa looking for a kid car.
And it's perfect. This is ideal. I think that's, first of all, Chris, I think that's why you're here and why you're a good fit for Drive Radio, because I think we got a lot of folks out there we can send your way. But let's get back to, is there a way for somebody like Alan to even know ahead of time at a particular auction what might be coming up for sale, or is it just one of those things where you show up and see what comes across the block?
No, everything we have for sale is available right now. You can view even far into the future everything we have already set up for a particular auction date. You just go to Manheim.com.
Okay.
That's Manheim with one N. And you go in there and you'll have to navigate locations to go to Manheim Littleton, but it'll eventually direct you to a certain page.
Actually, if you go, hey, everybody listening real quick, if you go to drive-radio.com and click on the Manheim logo on our front page, it goes right to where Chris is talking about.
Perfect.
I did all that work for him already, so it's real easy that way.
There you go.
Right. Yeah, so it'll take you right there, and you can see everything that we have on there for this particular auction on June 8th. And like I said, it'll show every other auction that you might want to look at around the country because, like our auction, you can bid online. You don't have to be in person to bid on these cars. You can do everything online, whether you're in Guatemala trying to buy a car in Pennsylvania, or you're trying to buy one here locally. You can put in a pre-bid even. You see a car you like, you might as well put in a pre-bid, or you can put in on your watch list, whatever you want to do. It makes it really easy to bid from home, or you can come to the auction and get free dinner as well. Whatever you'd like.
I was just going to say, the only okay, so the plus to being online is you could be home in your pajamas doing this. The downside is you miss dinner.
You miss dinner, yeah. Yeah, and it's a unique environment. Anyone who's never attended an auction is missing out. It can be overwhelming, and I understand that if people want to sit home and do that on the internet, but you ought to experience it at least once and really get the vibe of what's going on.
No, Chris, you are 100% correct. If you've never been to an auction, period, it's worth going to. Frankly, I have to keep myself away from them because I'm a sucker. I mean, I love auctions. They are an absolute blast.
I just want to go and yell, "Yep."
All right, so what kind of cars, let's get into that for just a moment, Chris. What kind of cars can people expect on these Wednesday night auctions, and is it every Wednesday night?
No, right now we're just hosting it the second Wednesday of every month. So it's only once a month. We're looking to expand as we get more buyers and we get more sellers, then of course we can offer more nights. So it's just one night that they're able to go. Now the types of cars are going to all be good title, so meaning while we specialize in salvage and floods, anything that can really damage a car, none of these are going to be like that. All of them are going to have a good title.
Okay.
So you're good there, and they're all going to be in good condition. So they're all going to be able to run, they're all going to be able to drive. There may be some small problems to them, and if there's anything major, we're required by law to announce it. So you'll know if it has a transmission issue, you'll know if there's certain damage on the car, but generally speaking, these cars are going to be good condition. Now, depending on how you label good, a lot of these cars are 10 to 20 years old. So you look at a car that's 20 years old, good can mean a lot of different things. But nonetheless, we will look at this as good condition, meaning they're drivable. They're drivable, and they'll get you where you need to go.
So you would buy the car at the auction, hop in it, fire it up, and you could leave that night with it?
Absolutely. Yep. You can pay everything right there, and you can drive off with the vehicle that evening.
So price-wise, I mean, what are we talking? I mean, we're talking about cars that are under 20,000, under 10,000. I mean, where are we at? And I realize it's an auction and anything can happen, but typically speaking, what are we seeing for average pricing?
Well, when I go talk to my dealers and say, do you have any cars you want to be able to sell at the auction? We're typically looking at cars that are less than $5,000.
Okay.
So they're real cheap cars, and they're the types of cars that maybe they're not wanting to sell on the lot to be able to put out front to with their kind of cars. Maybe it's a trade-in or something, but it doesn't mean it's a bad car. It just doesn't fit their mix. So it gives them another avenue to sell it out here.
Okay, so I just got a text message on some questions. If somebody has a vehicle that might be more than the $5,000, but they're trying to get rid of it. In fact, we had somebody earlier that called in kind of in a similar situation. Will you guys sell a car for somebody? And if so, how does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of our cars have what we call floor prices. eBay calls them reserve prices. So the sellers like to say, hey, I'd like to get at least this out of it.
Okay.
So we can get close to that, then we'll sell the car.
Okay.
So, we don't let cars away for pennies. But yet if it goes above that reserve, that floor price, absolutely, we're going to get more money out of it for the seller, but also, and that you can have a car that's certainly worth it, worth a $15,000 car. But being the public's usually there to buy one, maybe two cars at most, so they're probably not going to dump a lot of money onto the bigger, more expensive cars, but just to buy some of the cheaper stuff. But they're available. Again, you can check the list on our website to see what is available there, and you can kind of get a good idea going, hey, this is a later model car. It's probably going to cost a little bit more than this 95 Tahoe I'm looking at.
Got it. Makes total sense. Chris, I appreciate your time. We'll send some folks your ways. Again, you can go to our website, drive-radio.com. mannheim.com. I put Chris's link. Mannheim is right on the front page. Just scroll down to where our sponsors are. Click on his logo. It'll take you right to his page here in Littleton, and everything is there. And off you go, folks.
Sounds good.
Chris, I appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, John. I appreciate you letting me on.
You're very welcome, man. Have a great afternoon. We appreciate you taking your time to call us, and thanks for the support of Drive Radio. With that, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
That power drill you bought in 96 is working about as awesome as a 20-year-old drill should, meaning not so awesome. So trade it in at Napa and get a $25 instant rebate toward a new DeWalt cordless drill kit. There's only one word to describe instantly getting $25 off a new DeWalt drill, and that word is awesome. That's Napa know-how. Participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Trade-in rebate may vary. Offer expires 6/30/16.
In a flash, from out of nowhere, your whole life can change forever. It happened so quickly, nobody saw it coming. Soon the medical bills will be arriving.
Will insurance cover your injuries? Does the other driver have assets? Should I sue?
It was his fault after all. After an accident, you need to call the law offices of Flesh Law. Flesh Law will never settle until you are fully compensated for your injuries.
Call 303-806-8886 for the Flesh Law Firm. 303-806-8886. Online, go to fleshlawfirm.com.
Flesh Law, the trial-tested, trial-ready attorneys.
Hey, Northern Colorado. The sisters from Community Auto here. Just letting you know we got your back. We have a happy family here at Community Auto and would love for you to be a part. We've come a long way since opening shop more than 20 years ago. Thanks, Dad. As Small Business of the Year 2015, featured in Parts and People and among the top shops in Colorado, we'd like to thank you for trusting us with your vehicle. With our new customer loyalty program, you can earn rewards dollars and free services like oil changes and transmission flushes. Like us a lot? Refer a friend, and we'll give you $50. It's that easy. Auto repair doesn't have to be painful. Actually, with us, it's pretty fun. We know that a happy car will get you far, so we'll fix and maintain yours with a smile. We're fun, fresh, and good at what we do. Call us today or visit us at communityautoinc.com. We'd love to meet you.
Things you should know. Your address, your phone number, your wife's birthday, where your keys are, and your credit score. What? You don't know what it is? Or are you just too afraid to say it out loud? For those of you that have pristine credit and are proud of it, good job. High five. You worked hard for that, but the rest of us might have slipped up a time or two and have bad credit, or maybe have even declared bankruptcy. Buying things like a car may be very difficult, if not impossible. But Mike Lather at Bankruptcy Autos is your friend that will get you back in the driver's seat. He will handle all the paperwork for you and even arrange financing. For those of us that are worrying about how we will ever be able to purchase a car, Mike Lather with Bankruptcy Auto is the way to go. Give him a ring at 720-266-4941, 720-266-4941, or check out bankruptcyauto.com. Tell Mike that you heard about him on Drive Radio.
Today's gasoline direct injected engine doesn't have your father's Ford injected fuel system, and that's probably why you paid more to get one. The GDI's special design requires special maintenance to keep it carbon-free and fleet.
15 now.
Products has the most current and effective GDI maintenance available in over 20,000 shops, and is one more reason service managers recommend BG 3-to-1 over all others. Find a shop near you at bgfindashop.com. If you own a GDI engine and you want it to last, remember 2 more letters, BG. BG.
All right, and this is Drive Radio. John Rush, your host, KLZ 560. Alan Stefan is with us from Napa, Gates, Cooling, HVAC, you name it. Alan is the guy. And we have Jeff Kitty from Larry's Automotive and Transmission. Larry, actually, from Larry's Automotive and Transmission, is on the phone trying to get Chris back because we had a question for Chris. So if we get him back on the line, great. If not, Larry will get the question answered. And it was about how to preview some of those cars online. So we were doing a little playing around with the website prior to that. So, Alan, what do you think? You going to head out there?
Yeah, I think I'm going to definitely. I think it'd be fun. And then I might find that right car. So,
well, and Jeff, you had a thought process too.
Well, you've got somebody that's looking for a donor car for engine, transmission, that type of deal.
For some sort of project
car.
Sure.
You might need the computer, you might need all the wiring and all that.
You just buy the whole
Salvage
car and there you
car,
go.
yeah.
And salvage it when you're done.
Yeah.
Scrap it when you're done, in other words.
Scrap it and go from there. I think that'd be
not a bad idea.
That'd be a
A
fantastic
lot of possibilities, right?
There is.
Well, and it might be better than doing the Craigslist deal.
All right, lines open 303-477-5600. Any questions you've got, we'd love to hear from you. We'll take your calls 303-477-5600. This came in from a listener, Frank. If you have a new car and travel out of town, actually I'd even say in town, make sure you have a real spare tire. Last weekend, I came across an older couple with a flat tire, and their Hyundai only had the new improved Fix-A-Flat spare tire. And it would not fix the flat. Luckily, I carry a cheap tire plug kit, and I was able to fix it until they could get it fixed correctly. But his point is well received. If you're going to make a long journey and you don't have a spare tire, having one would probably be advisable. And a lot of the newer cars, to save weight, money, and so on, are not coming with spare tires in them.
Segues into what we were talking about earlier, before the show. If we were going to take that long trip to Alaska,
what would you pack?
What would we pack? I mean, you can't take everything, obviously.
No,
but some coolant for that particular vehicle, and maybe some hose repair.
This guy, I didn't think about it, but Frank talking about taking a little tire plug kit, not a bad thing to have with you.
That's not a bad idea. I mean, it's not
compressor.
Yeah.
Yep. Small air compressor and a tire plug. You might get yourself out of some trouble.
That and a lot of those battery packs,
the jump starters.
They've got little air compressors in them. Not a bad deal.
That's a good point.
They have a flashlight.
And
a strobe lights if you're on the side of the road. Make sure you take a yellow vest too, by the way, guys. Yellow or orange vest. Safety vest is what I'm trying to say.
That and a set of throwaway gloves.
Yeah, the safety vest in every car, as far as I'm concerned, ought to just be there, period.
Yeah.
You get on the side of the road, and this last week, I can't tell you how many vehicles this past week I saw on the side of the road, folks putting, spare tires on, doing whatever.
And you can't see them.
You cannot see them.
Well, and the big thing is if you're on the highway, pull off. Go.
A wheel is cheaper than your life.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I mean,
am I right, guys?
Well, unless it's a T-bird wheel, but yeah, you're still right.
I thought you were going to say depends on the life. No, I didn't think so.
I mean, just get off the highway if you can.
Definitely. I mean, just isn't that common sense? So, but
I came across two that were on the inside lane.
Yes.
And I'm thinking,
I'd call
suicide.
somebody. I'd call somebody. Just get a wrecker with some lights.
That's just suicide. Bob's up next. Bob, welcome.
Thank you. How's it going?
Doing good, sir. Thanks for calling us.
Yeah, I have a 95 GMC Sierra pickup.
Okay.
And back in April, I had a radiator flush and our cooling system flush. And about a month later, the radiator starts leaking.
Yeah.
And it's leaking out. It's got those side molded, I don't know if they're plastic or whatever.
tanks. Yep.
I wonder if the flush had anything to do with it.
May have. And it's very common for those to do that. So there may have been some residue in there that was sealing the tanks a little bit. But the bottom line is you still got to service the cooling system. You still got to get everything, flushed out of the block and so on. And if the radiator was bad, it was bad anyways. And it was going to go bad at some point in time anyways.
Yeah. Well, it's all right. It's the original radiator.
Yep.
So maybe it's fine,
due.
but
it was due.
It's due. Yeah. And those plastic radiators, despite what anyone else out there will tell you, there's some shops out there that will say, oh yeah, we can fix those. No, they can't.
And then what about what coolant's running that 95?
That's got Dex Cool and keep running it.
Yeah, but isn't doesn't air affect that?
You want to run Dex Cool, keep it full, don't let it get down, or it will actually degrade. And that could have been what happened along the way to that vehicle. But 95 original radiator, you were due anyways.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Well, just thought I'd check and see.
Nope, you're right on the right track, Bob. You're headed right where you need to.
Got your radiator 2547 at Napa waiting there for you.
There you go.
Okay, that's where I'm going to go.
All right, Bob. Appreciate it very much. Thanks so much for the phone call. John in Lakewood, you're next. What's going on, sir?
Thank you, sir. I have a motorhome that the rear dualies are paying to air up.
Yep.
I've taken it even to Discount Tires, and they had a problem. Do they make some kind of a valve stem or something?
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. They make an extension kit for that where it's actually like a braided hose where you can actually screw that onto the valve stem that's actually on the inside dual and then clip, or I should say attach, clamp to the outer dual. The other end of that. So it's a female on one end, male on the other. It's not a transgender hose. It's actually a male and female hose, and away you go.
Well, because on one of them, it's supposed to take 75 pounds, and I can do one of them, no problem. But that other one, now, where would I go to get such a thing?
Napa carries those.
Napa.
And they may very well even have them in stock. You'd be surprised. If not, I can tell you that the DC stocks them, and they typically, John could get those within a day.
Oh, wow.
That's in our tire hardware line. I've seen it.
Yeah, I run a lot of those in our fleet. We've got inside duals and things like that, and we've got those. Any of them that are hard to get to, and it depends on the wheel and how they've positioned the valve stem and all of that. But some are just tougher than others. If it's really tough, just put the extension kit on it. Yep.
Ooh, what's the email on that?
You know what? If you want to send me an email and I'll find you the right part number, I'd be happy to do that. Just send it to John, John, at drive-radio.com, and I'll look it up for you.
Okay, John at
drive-radio.com.
drive-radio.com.
You got it. Thank you, John.
All right, sir.
You bet. Appreciate it very much. Have a great afternoon. And sorry to interject the.
I love it.
Hey, it's a hose. It has a male and a female in.
There you go. Is there?
And always will.
Is there a difference? So yeah, great, John. I like it.
Anyways, we'll be back. Hour number 3 coming your way. Don't go anywhere. This is Drive Radio. John Rush host, KLZ 560.
Still haven't had enough? Go to drive-radio.com. Email your questions and comments. Download previous programs and find lots of useful information, including your nearest Colorado Select Auto Care Center. That's drive-radio.com. Thanks for listening to Drive Radio, sponsored by the member shops of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers on KLZ 560.
Drive Radio is a presentation of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. The independently owned and operated shops of Colorado Select hold each other accountable for the highest standards of technical expertise, honesty, and professionalism. They all understand that choosing a mechanic is risky business, so Colorado Select was created by this exclusive group of like-minded professionals who are dedicated to raising the level of consumer confidence in Colorado's auto repair industry. Schedule your next oil change at any of the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers heard on Drive Radio, and you'll immediately see the difference. For the complete list of all the member shops in the state, visit drive-radio.com.
John Rush during the afternoon rush, weekdays from 3 to 6 on KLZ 560.
John Rush here on the next Rush to Reason, transportation. Yeah, the roads stink here in Colorado. We'll get some real straight answers from Tina Francone. She's on the RTD Board of Directors. We'll have all of your traffic and weather updates with Dan Muir, and of course, we'll take all of your phone calls. That's the next Rush to Reason, Denver's Afternoon Rush, every weekday from 3 to 7 p.m. right here on KLZ 560.
You're listening to The Source in more ways than one. AM 560 KLZ Denver, KLZ HD Denver, and KLZ FM 100.7. Simulcasting on KLDC Denver and KLDC HD Denver, AM 1220, and KLDC FM 95.3. Online at 560thesource.com.
This is USA Radio News. I'm Jules McKinney. Legendary boxer Muhammad Ali is dead at the age of 74. A family spokesman confirmed that he died Friday night at a Phoenix area hospital where he was being treated for a respiratory issue that had been complicated by his Parkinson's disease. Ali, famously known for his predictions and poetry, especially this one before he fought his longtime rival Joe Frazier.
I'm going to be dancing, floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee, and I predict that this shall be no contest.
George Foreman, who lost to Ali in the Rumble in the Jungle, said, "A part of me slipped away when he died." Former heavyweight champ Mike Tyson tweeted, "God came for his champion. So long, great one." In other news, a car found Friday in Culver City, California, is confirmed to have belonged to the UCLA shooter. Nearby buildings were activated as the bomb squad checked out the Nissan Sentra for booby traps and explosives. None were found. This is USA Radio News.
I'm Sean Hare, the site director at ConservativeTribune.com. Conservative Tribune is one of the most visited news sites in the world, and the reason is simple. ConservativeTribune.com delivers edgy and bold commentary of the news every day. We are unapologetically pro-America, unabashedly conservative. At ConservativeTribune.com, we don't make apologies for who we are or what we say. If you're looking for more than boring stories and simple thought, visit conservativetribune.com. That's conservativetribune.com.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
KLZ Denver.
John Rush during the afternoon rush, weekdays from 3 to 6 on KLZ 560.
It's a mighty fancy automobile. Oh, she's a real road king, all right. 0 to 60 in 7.5. She'll do a quarter mile, 13.40. 390 horsepower, 500 foot-pounds of torque. Whatever that is. Performance and image, that's what it's all about.
There's no such thing as a stupid question. This is Drive Radio. All of your automotive questions are just one phone call away. 303-477-5600. Drive Radio is made possible by the member shops of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. To find one near you, go to drive-radio.com. Now, Drive Radio on KLZ 560.
And this is Drive Radio, KLZ 560. Jeff Kitty with us and Alan Stefan from Napa, cooling, belts, hoses, HVAC.
I got too much
What am I
stuff.
missing?
I can't even remember. Hydraulics, water pumps, thermostats.
Lines are open. We'll take your calls. Anything you'd love to talk about, we will answer that question. We've got 1 hour left. 303-477-5600 is our phone number. I want to say, first of all, if it's Sunday, thanks for listening. We appreciate it greatly. But the lines will, and the lines are, open. You can call in, but there won't be anybody here to answer. So,
You're like Congress, you'll get it'll just ring.
And you know what? On Sundays, that happens here because there's been folks that come in on Sundays and talk about how the studio is ringing away and there's nobody here. So if it's Sunday, you can email us. Go to drive-radio.com. Send us an email. We'll get it answered for you as quickly as we can. We've got several new sponsors today that I want to mention. Really appreciating joining up with us. Chris at Mannheim Auto Auctions. Really want to say a thank you to him for joining us. You can find him on our homepage. Just go to drive-radio.com and it'll take you right to, click on Mannheim. It'll take you right to his page. 88 Drive-In. We'll talk about the movies they've got coming up here in just a little bit. And then Tom Witzel, Colorado Realtor, Colorado native, Remax Alliance, Westminster. He's joining our team here at Drive Radio. I appreciate him very much. He's been a full-time agent since 1999. He's in the people business, not the house business. He'll help you find the house that you need, whether that be, selling your current house, maybe your first-time home buyer, maybe you're looking to add a second home, a rental home, you name it. Tom will help you out. Give him a call today at 303-808-2206. The website is Tom Witzel. That's Witzel. So TomWitzel.com. Again, his phone number, 303-808-2206. When you call him, make sure that you tell him that you heard him on Drive Radio. And that goes for all of our sponsors here on Drive Radio. Let them know you hear them on Drive Radio. Jeff, as an owner, does that help you?
Sometimes it'll give you a nice discount.
There you go. It's you. Here's the deal. I say this all the time. You're like part of the family when you tell them you're a Drive Radio listener, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
He's walking there and saying, hey, I hear you guys on the radio. And it's like, automatically, Jeff's thinking, fantastic. What can I do for you?
Yeah, exactly.
Not that you wouldn't do that with a regular customer, but there's something about this radio connection you get with a customer.
We do it with all of our customers, but it's nice to know that people appreciate what we're doing on the radio.
Exactly.
And, the thing is that they know who they're talking to.
That's exactly right.
Larry,
out a ton.
Larry gets a lot of kudos. Oh, you're down there every time.
And I learned a lot about valve stem extensions.
There you go. Today. That's right. All right, Mike, you're next. What's going on, sir?
Hey, fellas, I was just reading an article in the news the other day that the Toyota and Mitsubishi and one other manufacturer are putting the same airbags that Takata had problems with in their new cars because the replacements aren't ready.
Yep.
They say the ammonia nitrate won't disintegrate yet for a while.
Right.
So they're putting them in, but they're not telling anybody that.
Yep, they're putting them in. They and in certain cases there may be recalls, there may not be recalls. It just depends on what part of the country that car is being sold in and so on. Really what it boils down to is lack of parts. There's nothing else they can do at this point. So if they want to keep selling cars, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, no, I you're absolutely correct. It's just to me, it's like, okay, how do you know that you bought if you have you bought a new car with one of the old airbags? They're not required to tell you.
No, they are not, because until that airbag shows some sort of a sign of failure, they don't technically have to have a recall. It's sort of a unique situation, and you know what? The thing about that, though, is that applies to every single part they're putting on the car. Until a need arises that they've got to actually recall it, they don't. And I'm not trying to defend them. I think the problem they've got, and maybe I can defend them a little bit. The problem they've got is when you put all of your eggs in one basket as the only real airbag manufacturer in the world, which is Takata, it kind of puts a hamper on everything.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying right or wrong. I get the position they're in. I think the thing that I find disconcerting, John, is that you wouldn't know that the old airbag was on the new car, and you would assume that you were getting, by buying the new car, that you were getting something that may not have to be recalled.
Yeah.
I think that becomes a little bit morally problematic.
It's a little weird if you ask me, and the question is, and this is something I actually should talk about during the week maybe, is, what's the moral ground here? How should they do it? Should they put some sort of a warning when they sell the car that, this vehicle does have a Takata airbag. Takata's been known to have some problems, blah, blah, blah. But you and I both know they're not going to do that.
No, they're not. And I can see, I understand it if it's a new airbag, but it's the old one.
Right.
Anyway,
it's a new airbag, but still the old design.
It's the old design, and that's exactly right. Well, thought I'd bring that up.
I appreciate that. In fact, you gave me an idea. I may bring that up this week. That would actually be a good discussion this week. I think I'll do that.
All right. Well, you guys have a great day, and as usual, a great show.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much. Let's do this. We will go to Mike, another Mike, who is up next in Wyoming. Mike, welcome. What's going on, sir?
Hey, good afternoon, you guys. Hey, I have a 2010 Chrysler Town & Country. It runs fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I am the worst mechanic in the world, so I drive Lyft also, so I do need the vehicle.
Got it.
But what is your guys' recommendation on aftermarket warranties? Are they even worth it?
No.
Because I've heard that, they're not worth it at all.
Nope.
In what reasoning?
If you took the amount of money that either you were going to pay extra per month for that warranty, and or if you were just going to write a check for the warranty and you put that money into an account and you didn't touch it and you just left it in there, chances are you would have the majority of that money at the end, and or if you had a repair, you'd use that money to fix the repair and you're still ahead. So I'm not a big fan of extended warranties, especially in today's world. Vehicles that are 2010 and newer, or even, gosh, I'll even go back 10 years prior to that. You just don't need them because the cars are built well enough. It's just not a problem.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's really all I had. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Appreciate the phone call. And that's not to slam the aftermarket warranty companies. I mean, they're there for reasons. They're there to make a living, and some people feel that peace of mind if they have one. And I've heard that story, I don't know how many times, but if you'll do what I just said, take the money, either if you're going to write a check for it. And some of these warranties can be, $1,500, $2,000, $2,500, $3,000. If you took that same amount of money, set it aside, or if it's another $25, $30, $40 a month on your payment, you put that money aside, chances are you'd have that money left
That's
over.
a lot of differential and transmission and cooling system flushes right there.
It's maintenance you could be doing that would probably keep you out of that extended warranty issue in the first place. And anyways, let's go to, I think it's Ron is next. Ron, welcome. Or is it John? I can't read my screen that far away.
It's Ron. I have a
Ron,
question.
there you go.
I got in an accident here about a month or so ago. Truck got hit in the front end, 2013 Tacoma, about the door. It's all fixed, looks real good. They test drove it on Friday. Had to have the tires blew up when the truck got hit, new tires.
Okay.
Had front end alignment, frame spine, has a steering wheel shimmy. So they stated it was bent rims, so they're going to replace 2 rims. Is there anything else I should look for when I pick the truck up.
Well, okay. So first question, let me back up a little bit. When you drove the truck, let me make sure I'm asking the right question. Did you pick the truck up final delivery before you discovered the shimmy, or did you actually, just pick it up? You noticed it was a shimmy, then you took it back?
No, actually, they called me and said I couldn't pick it up because
Got
of the shimmy.
Okay, that's good. That's actually even better.
Really good.
That means they're paying attention. They're on top of things. That makes me feel better. That means they're doing things properly on the front side.
Yeah, they did their safety check ride before they returned
Perfect.
it.
That's perfect. Good for them.
They
That's
said it
good.
had a shimmy in the steering wheel,
Okay.
and they diagnosed it with bent rims.
Good.
Okay,
They
good.
rolled the tires off.
Probably nothing else you really would need to inspect other than what I would do before taking final delivery of it is, and if they want to ride with you while you do it, fine, so be it. I would take that thing for a nice, good, solid, high-speed test drive. Make sure it runs well, handles well, doesn't have any issues, no noises, no squeaks. The other thing you want to look at is, so did they paint just the front end of the truck or did they paint all around?
Front end, it took the whole side of the truck back to the bed. So the whole side, tailgate, front end, all had to be repainted.
Okay, so get the thing in the right kind of light. And by the way, that's not direct sunlight because direct sunlight can hide a lot of flaws in the paint. So the thing you want to do is you want to get the thing under some good light where you can actually look at everything, make sure all the color matches, make sure your body panels line up correctly, make sure all your doors open and close correctly, make sure, again, all of your gaps are where they need to be. They're even on both sides. Make sure the driver's side doesn't have a shorter or bigger gap, front or aft of the door versus the passenger side. Same thing with the fender. Make sure both of them are equal on both sides. Make sure the hood lines up correctly. Open and shut the hood. Make sure that it opens and closes correctly. Just go through all of that because all of that being damaged and replaced, you want to make sure that everything is functioning properly.
Yes. Okay.
The only thing, is this a 4-wheel drive?
It's a Prig Runner. It's a 2-wheel drive.
Okay.
Okay. If it was a 4-wheel drive, I'd say you might want to make sure that the
axles are good and everything too.
Axles are good. Depending on how it got hit, later on down the road, you might have wheel bearing issues.
Okay.
That type of stuff. But I mean, they're not going to. That might not show up.
Next question was this your fault or somebody else's?
Somebody else's.
Okay, somebody else's fault.
I was sitting at a light, and the guy had just bought a new car, had 2.5 miles on it, and hit us about 50 right in the driver's door.
Oh,
it shoved me sideways and blew the tires.
Okay, so the other question I've got is, did you get any kind of diminished value out of the insurance company for this accident, things along those lines?
We're working on that now.
Okay, if you need help, our one advertiser, we've got Kevin Flesh from Flesh Law. He's your guy. He knows that stuff like the back of his hand. If you need any help in that at all, please give Kevin a call and he'll walk you through it and help you out with it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so do that. His number 303-806-8886.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Other than that, I think you're in good shape.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
You bet you, Ron. And also on that, in that particular situation, if you get any kind of medical issues going on and the other insurance company is not stepping up and doing what it should be, give Kevin a call. He'll get in the middle of it. He'll get it taken care of. Again, his number 303-806-8886. All right, we've got one more. We got time. Let's just do it this way. Denny will take you, and then we'll take a break right after this. Go ahead, Denny.
Yeah, I got a 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and I just got a safety recall on that for the airbag. And it's from Fiat Chrysler Automobiles. Is this legit?
Yes, it is. Those are the same airbag recalls we were just talking to I heard that other caller just a few minutes ago, Mike, about here just recently, really 3 callers ago, we were talking to Mike. That's the exact same thing that's on your vehicle.
Okay, so I should go over to Chrysler then.
If they have any parts to fix it, what I would do is call first, find out if they have parts. If they do not, see if you can get on their list before you even have to drive down there and start the process that way.
Alrighty. Well, very good. I thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Not a problem at all. We appreciate it. And Larry, I just got a message from Chris via email. Call him back. He's now at a point where he can talk. We can ask that question on air about Mannheim real quick if we want to as soon as we come back. So we had one more question for Chris. We'll ask him. We'll get him right back on the horn. We've got lines open, 303-477-5600. We'll be right back here on Drive Radio. Don't go anywhere. KLZ 560.
Geno's with a J is your go-to auto service shop in Littleton for all your car care needs. Needing an oil change? Take advantage of Geno's premium $29.95 oil change and receive a free set of windshield wipers with the mention of this ad. See store for details. Brakes, alignments, or car maintenance. Geno's does it all. In business over 32 years, Geno's offers courtesy vehicles while your car is being serviced. They are conveniently located at Bowles and Platte Canyon in Littleton. Visit them online at genosautoservice.com. That's Geno's with a J.
Know-how! You don't need an air-conditioned steering wheel or high-performance supercharger to use Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil. Now just $5.99 a quart at Napa. Mobil 1 offers premium protection for all cars. Premium or not so premium. So give your ride Mobil 1 synthetic just $5.99 a quart, even if it doesn't have the latest technological stuff. That's Napa know-how. General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 6/30/16.
When you've been in a fender bender or accident, you need to get your car repaired quickly by top-notch experts that know your car. Don't mess around with the cumbersome national auto body chains where you have no idea as to who is working on your car. Denver Collision Experts is a locally owned auto collision repair facility that will give you that personal touch you deserve. They'll help you in dealing with your insurance company and get you back on the road quickly without skimping on quality. Denver Collision Experts are Denver's experts in auto body repair. Call Denver Collision Experts today at 303-761-0955, 303-761-0955, or check them out at denvercollision.com. Be sure to tell them Drive Radio sent you.
At Lone Tree Veterinary Medical Center, we believe that all pets deserve to have a good life. And because we know that your pet will have many different needs throughout its life, we offer complete pet care services. Whether your furry friend needs a checkup, vaccinations, boarding, grooming, obedience training, we are here for your pet 7 days a week. At Lone Tree Veterinary Medical Center, we know that you want the very best for your pet, which is why you can count on us for the latest in technology and methods in everything we do. We are certified with the highest rankings by the American Animal Hospital Association and hold a gold star rating with the Better Business Bureau. You and your pet can visit us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are located at 8681 East Lincoln Avenue in Lone Tree. Learn more about us by visiting our website at LoneTreeVet.com or give us a call at 303-708-8050. We believe that all pets deserve to have a good life.
At Arvada West Auto and Truck, we take the way your vehicle stops very seriously. Grinding, groaning, squeaking, fading brake pedal are all signs of worn out brakes. Did you know there are over
20 seconds.
And our master technicians
Are you going to be asking Chris about the how you have to pay the $100 or the login fee or something? Okay, cool.
and Arvada West Auto and Truck, 11752 West 64th Avenue, just west of Sims, 303-422-1065.
And this is John Rush Drive Radio, KLZ 560. Chris West is going to join us again real quick from Manheim Auto Auctions. Chris, we had one question for you. Thanks for taking time out of your soccer game there. I appreciate it very much. We're testing some things out, some of us here in the studio. Do you have to register for your auctions, period, to be able to then view all the cars on the front side? Are you there, Chris? There we go. You there, Chris?
Yeah, you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. So did you hear my question?
Yes, I did, yeah. So you're talking just access to all Manheim auctions?
Well, yeah, well, even yours. So your Littleton auction, to see the cars that are, that are available and so on, do you have to register on the front side to see any of the cars, or can you see the cars then register?
No. You can see everything. If you were to go to that link that you have on your page there and scroll to our specific date, you'll be able to see all cars that are on auction, whether you are set up with a login and everything regardless.
So you do not have to have a login to view the cars?
Nope, to view them. Now, to bid on anything, yeah, you do.
Got it. Makes sense.
If you just want to look at it, yeah, no problem.
Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. Chris, that's all we had. I thought I'd get it from the horse's mouth versus trying any other way, so it's perfect.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. That's Chris West, Manheim Auto Auctions. They've got an auction coming up this coming Wednesday night, and I would encourage you to, if you're looking for that second, third vehicle, kid vehicle, parts vehicle,
I'm going to check out the food, John.
How about the airport vehicle?
What? Yeah, could be the airport vehicle.
You know,
don't
you could
care.
drive it out there, park it out there. Doesn't matter if you get hail damage or whatever. And away you go.
Door dinged. You know how girls park right next to it at the shopping
Doesn't matter.
mall?
Exactly.
Yeah, doesn't care. You don't care.
All right.
Not only girls.
Jim is next. Jim, welcome. What's going on, sir?
Yeah, I have an 05 Buick LeSabre.
Okay.
And loose gas cap light keeps coming on. I put new gas caps, and then I went to a dealer and got one from the dealer, and the light went off for 2 days, but now it came back on.
Are you sure it's really a gas cap that's an issue, or do you have an EVAP problem somewhere else?
Well, I don't know. It might be an evac, but the light went off when I put a new gas cap for 2 days.
Made by the same manufacturer too. Stan.
Yeah, exactly. They're all the same.
Yeah. I would, if it were me, Jim, I'd probably take it into a shop and have them smoke that EVAP system.
Okay.
And see if there's another leak somewhere along the tank that would vent like that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
In Colorado.
I appreciate it very much. Let's go to Ted in Colorado Springs. Ted, you're next. What's going on, sir?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Got a question for you. I've got a 2013 Toyota Tacoma. Been happy with it. It's a great truck. I got a small business and I drive a lot of miles. I drive around the 5-state area. Right now, my 2013 has got 189,000 on it. Is there a point where maybe I should consider maybe dropping a new engine in it? Or can I realistically expect, 250 to 300,000 out of it?
You can expect 300 plus out of that vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been keeping up on all the services, oil changes. I don't do oil changes at 4,000. It's 6,000, and I do a synthetic blend.
That's fine. If you're running full synthetic, driving the miles that you're driving, and doing what you're doing, you'd be fine at that. There'd be no problems whatsoever that way.
Yeah, the truck. I almost exclusively have 90% of my miles are open road miles.
Yeah, you'd be fine at that. You'd have no issues.
No timing chain kind of trick stuff, nothing like that.
Nope, not on that vehicle. Just keep driving it. Keep your maintenance up and keep driving it. You'd be in good shape.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
It's a great truck. No, keep driving. It's a great truck. You're doing well with it. Appreciate it very much, Ted. Let's go to Rich and Elizabeth. Lines are open, by the way, 303-477-5600. Rich, what's going on, sir?
Hi, guys. Love the show.
Thank you, sir.
I've got a 2008 Corvette, 30,000 miles on it. And last week, I couldn't get it out. It's an automatic. I couldn't get it out of, it was stuck in drive or neutral. That was the only two options I had.
Okay.
So I went on the Corvette forum, and they had a pretty simple fix. You take out the center console, and you dig down deep in there, and there's a wheel, a cogged wheel in there and a catch. And what you do is you take a zip tie and you just open up that catch so it can never get jammed. And it seems to be working fine. I just wondered if you think there might be any issues with me doing that or not.
The only thing I can think of is if that was a lockout of some sort. I would want to see how the shifter works with that being.
It works.
Yeah, but with it being tied back, there might be a issue where if you bump the shifter, it might go into a gear that you don't want it to go into.
Well, you can't unless you push the little button on the shifter. It'll go from drive into neutral if you bump it. But that's the only thing it'll do. Otherwise, you have to push the button.
Okay.
So what I did basically is I bypassed the security solenoid is what I did in there.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't know.
It's probably more the theft deterrent side of the fence than it is anything else.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I don't care about that. I live in the boondocks. I had a C5 and it had steering wheel lock problems. I had to have the car towed twice. I finally had the steering wheel lock taken out of it. And so I figured I might as well save myself from getting towed with this transmission.
Well, and as long as, the only thing about the zip tie you have to be careful of is that, there's a lot of heat that still comes up in the center tunnel of that car. Make sure you use a good high temp zip tie because those things will get brittle and break over time. So just make sure you're watching that. Other than that, I can't see that you'd have any issues.
See, in Missouri, I'd use baling wire, but that's a different thing.
Well,
you know what?
And frankly, you could take a little piece of like stainless steel wire and put it down in there and wrap around it and never have to worry about it again. It probably would be better than using a zip tie.
Just be careful when you're racing that Hellcat that you don't hit neutral.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, I think maybe you're right. I'll go in there and put some wire in there.
Yeah, that's my only fear of the zip ties in that particular area is those things get hot, they get brittle, and they'll get to the point where you can just, they'll just break off. They'll just break in two.
Yeah, and the Corvette's notorious for getting hot in that area.
They get hot right down the middle, very much so.
Okay, well, thank you, gentlemen.
You're very welcome. Thanks for calling. We appreciate it, Rich, and enjoy that. All right, lines are open, 303-477-5600. Give us a call. We'll get you dialed right in. We've got 30 minutes left of Drive Radio for this particular week. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. This is Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
The new gasoline direct injection engines, also known as GDI, are the hottest new improvement to horsepower and fuel efficiency in this century. Service professionals agree that GDI's unique power requires unique GDI maintenance. BG Products has the most current and effective GDI maintenance available in over 20,000 shops, and they back it up with a lifetime BG protection plan. Go to bgfindershop.com. That's bgfindershop.com. If you have a GDI engine and you want it to last, remember 2 more letters. BG.
Doctors and lawyers are peer-reviewed for excellence. Why not auto repair technicians? John Rush here, founder of the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers, a peer-reviewed group of independent ASE-certified master technicians dedicated to providing superior service and the best warranty in the industry. 3 years or 36,000 miles on every repair. Colorado Select Auto Care Centers are your alternative to dealerships. Choose any Colorado Select Auto Care Center and you'll finally have an honest technician you can trust. Find one near you at coloradoselect.com.
Know-how! Goop, gunk, sludge, whatever you want to call it. It's the stuff that makes your engine just plain dirty. Luckily, the active cleaning power of Pennzoil conventional motor oil, just $3.39 a quart at Napa, helps keep your engine clean. So pick up Pennzoil conventional for $3.39 a quart at Napa and say goodbye to gunk. That's Napa know-how. General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 6/30/16.
This is Red Merrill for Phoenix Weaponry. Phoenix Weaponry is a weapon manufacturer that services the firearm enthusiast. From precision ARs to suppressors, Phoenix Weaponry can make your dreams come true. Phoenix Weaponry is a full-service gun shop that offers gunsmithing, coating, and modifications to your own weapon. Phoenix Weaponry, family-owned and operated right here in Colorado. If you can dream it, Phoenix Weaponry can build it. Call today, 720-340-2496. Again, that's 720-340-2496. Or visit their website, phoenixweaponry.com. Mention Sportsman of Colorado and receive 10% off your custom-built weapon.
Life is full of enjoyable moments, such as getting a root canal, paying taxes, your kids playing their recorder, dinner with the in-laws, and buying a car. I'm just messing with you. Those things are absolutely horrible. But with the help of Mike Lather and JFR and Associates, they might actually make purchasing a new vehicle, well, enjoyable. Tell them what you're looking for, and they'll set out and find what fits your parameters, handle the negotiating, gather history reports, and even arrange financing. Before you know it, you're behind the wheel of your new car. Take hunting for a new vehicle off of your to-do list and give it to Mike Lather with JFR and Associates. Give him a ring at 720-266-4941, 720-266-4941. Tell Mike that you heard about him on Drive Radio and get back to enjoying your kids' wonderful impromptu recorder concert.
This is ASE Automotive Professional, folks, and it's time to take a 60-second break and make you a savvy car consumer. It's time to learn a little bit about your auto. You've seen the words MAX or Recirc on the vehicle's climate controller. But what do those acronyms really mean? I can't tell you how many times a customer told me they associated the verbiage with reduced fuel economy. There's nothing further from the truth.
20 seconds, guys.
Behind the dash closed, stopping the outside hot, humid air from getting inside. Keep setting on max or recirculate and keep cool driving this summer. Lesson learned. Want to learn more about your vehicle? Visit me at carcarefortheclueless.com, making you a savvy car consumer.
All right, John Ross Drive Radio, KLZ 560. Lines are open. Give us a call, 303-477-5600. We'd love to chat with you. And went to Mannheim's website, like Chris said earlier. And yes, you can view all of the cars that he's got on there ready for sale this coming Wednesday. You go to the TSA link. It's right under, you'll see it, not TSA like in airport security, but there's a TSA link. And you click on...
No groping allowed.
So you click on sale, not all inventory, but sale, upcoming sale inventory, and you start scrolling through, and there's a boatload of cars that'll be coming up.
For the future, I'm going to make a suggestion to Chris and say, why don't we show the food menu and see what's going on?
That's not bad either. Good idea.
I mean, hey, we're having ribs tonight. I'm hungry. I guess.
Hey, there's a smart car for you there.
Yes, that's exactly what I need.
That's what you need, Alan, right there. 2010 smart car. Smart for two.
I tell you what, I'll feel right at home in
now
Boulder.
That baby's got 93,000 miles in it. No offense, but I don't want to ride 93,000 miles in a smart car.
No, that's okay.
Anyways, side note.
I'll stick with my dumb car.
303-477-5600. Give us a call. We'll get you right on air. We got one line open. Larry's screening some calls as we speak. Larry had a good point earlier, too, talking about extended warranty. So if you're still listening, I think we had a caller from Wyoming. Larry made a great point. BG, if you buy a car that's, fairly new to start with, you do all the BG services according to what they tell you to do. They're going to cover you on cooling system, drivetrain, engine. You really wouldn't need an extended warranty for anything else anyways. Just do the BG services. Don't worry about having an extended warranty, and voila, you're set.
You got more money in your pocket. You could go down to the auto auction and buy a third car with the money you save.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So, all right, who we got on? Somebody tell me in my ear who we got on line one, and I'll just get him up real quick.
Chris.
All right, Chris is on line one. Chris, welcome. What's going on, sir?
Well, I've got a 98 Ford Ranger, and I've got 240,000 miles on it. I'm the third owner. I've owned it for 10 years, and I've maintained it bumper to bumper. This whole thing about warranties, I think a lot of it just has to do with maintenance.
You got it.
Where do you want to put your money?
You got it, Chris.
So, let's see. I went up to Golden to do a job, and I went to leave the job and found out I no longer had drive or second or first in my transmission. I haven't had overdrive and reverse for 6 years, but that was no big deal. What I wound up doing was crawling underneath and tightening up the bands to get myself home. The question is what at this point, would you put in a new transmission, a rebuilt transmission? Can you make a suggestion for used transmission? And maybe should I look at the 4R55E?
No, you want to stay with the one that you've got.
Okay.
I would rebuild that one.
Okay.
To be perfectly honest with you, that way you've got all the calibration that goes along with the vehicle.
I was wondering about that. Ford's really picky about that.
The big thing on that one is you lose the servo bores where the servo slides in and out of the case, and you have to re-sleeve those. So I would build that unit, to be perfectly honest with you. You know, depending on what size engine it is and stuff like that.
2.5.
2.5?
Yeah, two-wheel drive.
Yeah. If you give me a call Monday, I could probably work you up some sort of an estimate on that.
Okay.
And let you know what it'd be.
Okay. And I've been listening to the show on and off today. You are...
Jeff Kitty, Larry's Automotive and Transmission.
Jeff's at Larry's, 303-427-2108. And we're in Westminster, 7231 Bradburn Boulevard.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
All right, Chris.
Good information.
You're very welcome. Appreciate the phone call. Let's go to Stephen, who is up next. Stephen, welcome. What's going on, sir?
Yeah, so thanks for the call. I appreciate you guys' program.
You bet. Thank you very much.
What I have is a 72 Chevy truck, has a 350 in it, and it's been giving me problems with the carburetor. And I drive it, and you shut it off, and it starts right back up again. If it sits for about 30 minutes, it acts like it's flooded. You smell gas. You have to leave the accelerator pedal all the way to the floor. Just try to start it again, and then it's fine. But it just seems like it's a carburetor issue. And I don't know if it's something if I need some kind of a plate beneath the carburetor to raise it up or something? I've heard people tell me that.
They boil it can tend to boil. Those are famous for that. They tend to boil the gas out of the bowl, and that's why you're smelling the gas, because it boils out and it smells like it's flooded, but it's really not flooded. There's no fuel in it. There's two ways you can fix that. You could put a spacer under the carburetor to try to dissipate some of that heat, and or you could put an actual pusher electric fuel pump back by the gas tank on it to try to push some fuel up to it. And is that still got the tank? Is it underneath or is it behind the seat?
It's behind the seat.
Yeah, that one's you'd have to put the pump right inside the cab, coming right off the top of the tank, and push that fuel up to the carburetor. And you could do that. In fact, in that case, it'd be real easy. It's right inside the cab to do it.
Okay. Well, so that's what's causing that, huh?
Yeah, they called it back in those days. We call them hot soaks. That's really what the technical term was back then. You call it a hot soak. It wouldn't start after it sat for 15, 20 minutes because it's boiling the gas out, basically.
Is that right?
The old fuel, the old leaded fuel, it would not do that with, but the new fuel that doesn't have the lead content and such to it, it'll boil out.
Okay. Is that a pretty expensive thing to get done if I took it to a shop or something?
No, even a shop doing that probably could install that pump for under $250 or so.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate your help.
You're very welcome, Stephen. Thank you so much for calling. We have Demir's up in Longmont, by the way, Stephen, that could help you with that. Mar's a good guy. He'd know right what to do, and he would know exactly what I'm talking about. So take that up and have him get you fixed up. Again, you can find all of our member shops are all at drive-radio.com, or just type in coloradoselect.com. It takes you right to that page, and you can find every one of our shops there. Russ and Cheyenne, what's going on, sir?
Hey, I kind of got in late this morning, and you guys were talking about 91 octane fuel.
Right.
And I've noticed here lately that there's a lot of signs up that say no alcohol in our 91.
Right.
Is that everybody's 91, or is it just certain brands?
Just certain stations even. It's not even brands. It's certain stations that are choosing to run a non-ethanol blend on the high octane, especially during the summer months. I mean, a lot of guys want that for their power equipment, for their motorcycles.
For the Ride to Sturgis, you'll find a lot more.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's going to be a station-by-station thing, Russ, not across the board.
Okay.
Right.
Because I've got a station here. I've been buying ethanol-free for quite a few years. Because like my lawnmowers run a whole lot better on
There you go. They do.
That stutter that's in the lawnmowers completely goes away.
Yep.
So, okay, I just wasn't sure if maybe that was something I'd missed, and they
it's a case by case basis. And what we try to do is, if folks find those stations, we can have them call in and kind of share that information so everybody knows where to go. One of the questions was, why don't more stations do that? And my gut feeling is it's probably a cost issue, or a demand versus cost issue would be my guess. Infrastructure.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I look at it. I buy it about a gallon at a time because I don't want to sit around too long. But I go through 4 gallons a summer, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, the extra buck is not going to kill me.
Yeah, it's not. But in defense of the station, you got to sell enough volume of that to merit putting that in and having that product sit there and not have the turn on it that you would get out of the other ones and so on.
We probably start a list.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get that. I guess I'm just saying that I'd rather not have any ethanol and not have to deal with all the problems that go with it.
I agree with you. What'd you do with your Mustang that you were going to get rid of? Did you ever do anything with that, Russ?
I haven't done anything with it. I keep finding little problems and I keep playing with it. I'm stalling.
All right.
I kind of fallen in love with it, but I'll when I get her ready.
Let me know.
I finally got my last part showed up for it last night, I'll definitely get with you when I'm ready to get rid of it.
No worries. I just checking.
So,
no big deal.
I guess I had another quick question for you.
Go ahead. You're fine.
You're talking about the airport car?
Yes.
What about if all your cars are airport cars?
Well,
Then take them to the auto auction.
I don't know.
So, hey, Russ, I wanted to throw something in. It's not my line, but we had this fuel. It's pre-mixed at Napa. You can get it 40 to 151, or you can get the 4-stroke, and it's ethanol free.
And it has a long shelf life.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that in if you're looking for it. It's already ready to go.
Ethanol, when it comes to the power stuff.
Yeah, it's
like
good.
My weed eaters, man.
It's good in my distillery, but it doesn't work good in my small engines.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's terrible for any of the small engine stuff.
It's hard on it. Yep.
So I didn't know you could buy that there.
We didn't. I didn't either until Alan said it earlier today. So
Yeah,
that's
just
good
throw in a
info.
plug in. I wonder if I get paid for that.
Good info. So
Okay, let me ask you this, because I usually buy, it comes sealed, obviously.
Yeah.
Is that something you could throw in your trunk for when you're driving? If you run out of gas?
this product that Alan's talking
I got
about
it
that
in my
Napa
saddlebag.
sells is all sealed, and yeah, you could.
Yeah, I carry one around in my saddlebag in case I run low on fuel or
It would
something.
not be a bad idea. You could have a gallon with
That's
you
what
at
I
all
was
times.
going to say. When I go up to the mountains, usually I like to take a couple extra gallons with me just in case I run low, and I don't like to throw regular gas cans in the car because A, they can spill, and B, they stink the truck up.
I agree. This is a great idea.
I like the sealed stuff. I just did. How big of a container do they sell you?
Well, I know we have it in a quart, but I'm sure there's other sizes available. Right now, we're selling it in the quart.
Do you know the brand name on it at all, Alan?
That's a good question. I think it's VP.
Okay, VP selling it.
Oh,
yeah.
VP.
That would make
Good
sense.
stuff, so.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. That would be nice to be able to throw in the car, and if you need an extra half gallon to get down the road, there you go.
Yeah, no, that's great info. Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Russ. And it is. I just looked up VP. They've got it. And
ball camp number, but it's
no, I'm
VP.
looking at it, and looks like they sell in all sorts of different sizes.
Oh,
so there's several different sizes.
So we have
you
it
can get
available
in.
a lot of different ways. It sounds like.
It's very cool. So VP sells that. And there you go. Just pour it in. Off you go. They make it in, looks like quarts, gallons, and 5 gallons.
Okay.
And a 54-gallon drum. So for those of you that really want a lot of fuel, there you go. Do the whole 9 yards. All right, let's take another call. Let's go to Don, who's next. Don, welcome.
Hi, guys.
How we doing, sir?
Yeah, good show.
Thank you, sir.
I wanted to ask both you and Jeff your opinion on replacing U-joints on a four-wheel drive. Jeff just got through rebuilding my transmission. It's running good, but I've got 197,000 on those U-joints, and I haven't had any problems with them. But I think I wanted to know when do you recommend replacing them? What do they sound like?
Well,
when you're going-
$200K.
When we had that out, we checked all those out, and they were still tight.
They're good, and they're good.
So,
But you're getting, just keep in mind, you're getting close. I mean, you're $200K, so.
Okay, all right.
Will they run another 10, 20, 30,000 at this point? Who knows?
I got 200,000 on my joints, and they need to be replaced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, when you do those, guys, that's a heavy drive shaft in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do both of them on both axles, or what do you?
I would do, anytime I do U-joints, I do both of them.
Okay.
Not worth doing just one end.
Depending on the drive shaft, sometimes all 3 of them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Carrier bearing, if there's one. It doesn't make sense just to do one.
Okay. Well, intuitively, that's the way I feel, but I just wanted to run that.
No, you're correct. You're right on track. Your gut feeling is correct.
And on one that's got that many miles on it, Don, I'd probably send it out and have it done. So make sure the drive shaft's straight and balanced.
Good. Okay, guys.
All right, sir.
Now, when they're going out, do they give you a little bit of warning, or is it are you on the side of the road?
They'll clunk, they'll squeak, they'll vibrate, they'll do a lot of different things.
Or they just break and fall out.
Yep.
We had a fleet truck the other day that that exact same thing happened. No warning ahead of time. It just snapped, broke, left the truck on the side of the road.
Well, that's what I'm trying to avoid.
You just don't know. They can give you warning. They can make noise. They can rumble. They can vibrate, or they can just all of a sudden. I've even seen some where they're pulling out of a parking spot, snap, done, handled. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you think about it, I mean, they're under tremendous pressure.
Yes,
all
they
the
are.
time,
Yes, they are.
It's just it's kind of remarkable that they last as long as they do.
Yep, I agree.
They did.
All right, guys.
All right,
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
it. All right, take
Bye-bye.
care. All right, with that, let's take a quick break. We'll come back to our last segment of Drive Radio right here on KLZ 560.
Hey, Northern Colorado.
Hey, John.
Sisters from Community Auto here. Just letting you know we got your back. We have a happy family here at Community Auto and would love for you to be a part. We've come a long way since opening
This one
shop more
is
than 20 years
after
ago.
Larry's
Since
Auto.
then,
That's when it's
as
going to
Small
be
Business of
the
the Year
drive-in again.
2013, featured
And
in
then
Parts and People, and among
I'll
the
flag
top
you or
shops in
something so we can
Colorado.
go.
We'd like to thank you for trusting us with your vehicle. With our new customer loyalty program, you can earn rewards dollars and free services like oil changes and transmission flushes. Like us a lot? Refer a friend. and we'll give you $50. It's that easy. Auto repair doesn't have to be painful. Actually, with us, it's pretty fun. We know that a happy car will get you far, so we'll fix and maintain yours with a smile. We're fun, fresh, and good at what we do. Call us today or visit us at communityautoinc.com. We'd love to meet you.
In a flash, from out of nowhere, your whole life can change forever. It happened so quickly, nobody saw it coming. Soon the medical bills will be arriving.
Will insurance cover your injuries? Does the other driver have assets? Should I sue?
It was his fault after all. After an accident, you need to call the law offices of Flesh Law. Flesh Law will never settle until you are fully compensated for your injuries.
Call 303-806-8886 for the Flesh Law Firm. 303-
After Larry's Auto.
886. Online, go to fleshlawfirm.com.
Flesh Law, the trial-tested, trial-ready attorneys.
Seatbelts, airbags, onboard radar, laser, and camera systems. The vehicle safety technology available on today's cars and trucks is impressive, but none of it will keep you safe if you're driving on worn-out brakes. Extreme Auto Repair of Parker is a brake repair specialist. There are many reasons for noisy brakes, and most of them are simple fixes, but there's always the chance that something dangerous is going on. Take your car to Extreme Auto Repair of Parker, and their ASE certified master techs will be happy to take a look, just to be on the safe side. Extreme Auto Repair is huge, with 20 service bays, so they always have room for you, especially if you tell them you're a KLZ listener. Extreme Auto Repair of Parker. Call ahead for even faster service, 303-841-1071. 303-841-1071. Extreme Auto Repair. Going to the extreme for 17 years.
Know-how! That power drill you bought in 96 is working about as awesome as a 20-year-old drill should. Meaning, not so awesome. So trade it in at Napa and get a $25 instant rebate toward a new DeWalt cordless drill kit. There's only one word to this
And Larry's already put like 2 of the lines on hold, so.
DeWalt drill, and that word is awesome. That's Napa know-how. Participating Napa Auto Parts.
John, her name is Tina. Who'll be filling in for Scott.
This Wednesday at 6 p.m., Manheim Littleton Auto Auctions will be holding its monthly public car auction with around 200 good title and good condition cars. Don't miss this opportunity for an incredible deal. When you're looking for a third car or a reliable car for your teenager, Manheim Littleton has the right car for the right price for you this Wednesday at 6 p.m. Manheim Littleton is located south of C470 on Santa Fe. $100 registration fee and free dinner is provided for all bidders. Good cars in good condition and a great opportunity to get an incredible deal on a vehicle. Get down to Manheim Littleton Auto Auctions this Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Every car has a transmission, and every transmission needs servicing, but most drivers ignore their transmission. Don't fix what ain't broke, as they say. Larry's Automotive is the area's most respected transmission and driveline repair facility, and they'll tell you that most of the expensive repairs they do could easily have been avoided with regular scheduled maintenance. Maybe they were told by a mechanic that their transmission fluid was getting dark, or maybe there was a slight hesitation between gears. Whatever the case, they are now faced with expensive repairs. Larry's technicians are ATRA and ASE certified, and their warranty covers you even if you're out of town.
20 seconds until the drive-in ad.
For transmission repair than Larry's Automotive. The truth is, they would have preferred to do the preventive maintenance instead. Larry's Automotive and Transmission Repair, the Driveline Pros on Bradburn Boulevard in Westminster. Call 303-427-2108. 303-2108.
Like cars, relationships require regular maintenance, romantic date nights, family bike rides, dinner with the in-laws. Why should your relationship with your car be any different? Give your vehicle a well-deserved night out at the 88 Drive-In in Commerce City.
Admission includes all 3 features, and kids under 12 are free. The 88 Drive-In is open every night of the week, starting at 6 p.m. Friday and Saturday, and 7 p.m. Sunday through Thursday.
Take time to nurture all those special relationships in your life by visiting the 88 Drive-In tonight.
And it is drive-in season. The 88 Drive-In has an exciting movie lineup for the weekend now, showing Angry Birds, Teenage Mutant Turtles Out of the Shadows, and Neighbors 2. See all 3 movies. By the way, these are first-run movies. Some of these have just come out. So these aren't old movies. This isn't the dollar movie. This is the real deal.
all for $8 a person. Kids under 12 are free. The 88 Drive-In is located at the corners of 88th Avenue and Rosemary Street in Commerce City. For more info, go to 88 Drive, not Drive-In, but 88drive.com. All right, guys, with that, let's get one last call in here for the end of the show here. Rudy, you're up next. What's going on, sir?
I've got a 2008 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. It's got the 4.7 semi-Hemi engine in it.
Okay.
And question I have is on oil. I bought this from a family member. It came out of South Dakota, and we're just using it for a backup vehicle. But I started reading up, and they had some sludge issues on those 4.7.
They did.
Is this something I need to be concerned about on this one?
It is. You need to run full synthetic in that. That's an engine built by Mercedes for Chrysler back in the day. And you need to run the specific oil required, and you need to run full synthetic in it.
Okay.
With a good filter.
Yeah, with a high quality filter. Exactly. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, my brother, he had it, and he changed the oil every 3,000 to 4,000 miles up there, and it wasn't heavy city driving. He lived out in the country.
You should be fine then. You should be good. Just keep that up and keep it going. But that was a specific. In fact, for when they first came out, you had to run a specific. Very, very specific oil. In fact, because not every manufacturer even had the brand, or not every brand had an oil for that initially. They do now, but they didn't then.
Yeah, it's got 112,000. It'll probably get 6,000 miles a year.
It doesn't have hardly any miles on it. That thing will run for a long time. Good for you.
Any particular signs or symptoms on sludge issues that I should be aware of?
If everything you're telling us is true, which I believe it is, you won't have any problems. If everything has been done, they've changed oil regularly, taken good care of it, you won't have any trouble.
You can look on the oil fill on that one, and it'll show you because it's right there.
You'll know by looking.
Right head.
Yep.
You can see it right there.
Yep. I'm doubting you'll not have any issues if they've done what they said they did. You'll be in good shape.
I've got a 3.7 Jeep, and it's got 179,000 on it. So
yeah, I tell you, this thing just runs like get out.
No, those are good. Those were good engines. There's actually a very good engine in that vehicle. Mileage was good. They work well. I mean, it's as good an engine as the 5.7s were.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking about dripping a quart out and put in a quart of Rizlone before I take it in for the synthetic. Should I just get that?
No, just run over synthetic. You'll be fine.
Okay.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's do this. Before we go any further, we've got Sportsman of Colorado that's coming up next. I know Tina Francone is going to be filling in for Scott Watley because Stinkin' Scott, this guy's got the life, man. He is in Africa on safari doing what every man in the world and a lot of women would love to do. But anyways, that's
you think he's listening? Is he listening today?
No, he's not listening. He's probably out hunting. He's sleeping probably. He's way ahead of us time-wise. But anyways, Tina Francone's going to fill in for him. Tina, what are you guys going to talk about today?
Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about straightforward shooting and what we do, and more importantly, what we don't do.
Okay.
And then we also have Roger Long here with BSA Venturing Crew 563. He's going to talk about venturing and how it's different from Boy Scouts, and let you know a little opportunity for maybe some of your teenagers this summer to participate with their high adventure crew.
Awesome.
And lastly, we'll have my favorite state representative, Justin Everett.
Oh, right on.
He's going to give us an update on the 2015-2016 legislature and how it affected our gun rights.
Awesome. And for those of you that are listening right now, if you listen to Rush to Reason Monday, Tina's going to join us, and we're going to talk a little bit about our highway systems here in Denver and the traffic and all sorts of good stuff,
I'm
right,
going to
Tina?
put on my elected official hat on Monday as my RTD director, and we're going to have some fun.
We'll have some fun. I'm looking forward to it. So, Tina, good luck on Sportsman of Colorado. I'll be listening on my way home. Thanks for filling in for Scott. I know he's going to tell you that anyways, but I appreciate it.
Well, I wasn't going to out him. You know.
I am. I'm going to out him. I'm jealous.
I know, right?
Guy's awesome. Anyways, no, appreciate it very much. Thanks.
Thank you, John.
All right, Alan, anything we missed today when it comes to heating, cooling? Real quick, coolant. It's not one and the same.
Oh,
no.
Correct?
Well, I'm going into shops now and seeing there used to be like 4 or 5 different jugs. There's got to be 20 if they're doing it right.
But it's a shop. It's hard to tell because you got red, then you got pink.
Owner's manual. Break the plastic.
Right. Yeah.
Break the plastic on the owner's manual and make sure you're putting in.
Don't mix and match.
Mix and match on coolants.
Not worth it.
No. And if you do, then go to Larry's and have it flushed out with the flush gun.
Need to get it cleaned out and flushed.
All right. Any other things heading into summer folks need to know when it comes to their heating systems or cooling systems or ACs or any good tips you've got?
There's one good thing you've been keying on. It's called maintenance.
Okay.
Like, what else can you say about
so when it comes to AC, maintaining, I'm guessing, and I already know this, but playing devil's advocate, keeping the condenser nice and clean, getting all the bugs
things
and crud
that
out
they
of
can
that.
do, yes. And then if you want to run a deodorizer, we do have some stuff at Napa. I believe Chris has some a product as well.
Jeff
Don't
just got a
use.
new AC machine.
What's that?
Yep.
Yeah.
So Jeff just got a new AC machine.
Yeah, you guys just got a new AC machine. Yeah. Kudos, by the way. Good
And
job.
I am very impressed.
Yeah, they work great. They're
Yes,
really
it
cool.
does. It
Okay, so
does.
cleaning the vents. What else?
Just a little plug in for my filter boys. Check your cabin air filter.
Oh,
it's
good
easy
point.
change.
Yeah.
It's a real easy change.
And
Um,
we've seen some nasty ones here.
and that'll affect the air blown off the evaporator. So now you can have an AC problem. It's not even an AC problem. It's a filter problem.
Got it.
So that's a real simple one.
Okay. Belts, hoses.
Check belts, check hoses before the long trip. Maybe we'll talk about this the next time I'm on. And what can we do maybe to carry things along on that Alaskan highway trip, if you will?
Yeah, because
what would we use? The belt gauge. Stop by Napa, get the belt gauge. You can check your belt.
you really
yourself.
can't do it visually anymore, can you?
No, you cannot check for cracks
Because they
and
wear out like the bottom of your tennis shoes do.
tires.
Right.
And
We're just
Yeah. Good point.
and don't forget the tensioner.
Thanks. I gotta pass him what, $200? Is that?
Yeah,
what
I think you do.
Okay.
All right, guys, with that, we're going to get out of here. Larry Unger, other side of the glass, thanks so much. From Larry's Automotive and Transmission, Mindy, our great engineer, Alan Stefan from Gates, and a lot of other different companies that he reps for Napa. Really a good participant to the show. We appreciate all his support. And Jeff Kitty from Larry's, again, thanks so much.
Not a problem. All I can say is let's get out there and enjoy the weekend.
That's right. All right, we're going to do that. You guys stay tuned. Sportsman of Colorado is coming up next. I'll be back on Rush to Reason on Monday at 3. Have a great weekend. God bless you guys and enjoy. This is KLZ 560, also heard on 95.3 and 100.7 FM.
Still haven't had enough? Go to drive